I ran that intro through 3 times.
Yeah.
It was smooth. The second we go live, it buggers up.
Yeah.
But I didn't have it. We didn't have it on Tuesday. What have you done to it?
Nothing. I don't touch any. I don't touch any of that.
I don't understand what's going on. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on a confused Thursday. It's confused Thursday, Joe.
Yeah.
Because it was sunny when I came over, and then it rained a minute ago, and now it's sunny again. It's very confused.
Yeah,
Thursday.
it's a bit all over the biz, isn't it?
Yeah. Welcome back anyway. Thank you for joining us, you beautiful human beings. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash all those magical buttons for us, whether you're watching live or if you're watching on demand. The like button is specifically helpful for the algorithm, and then that behave OBS, thank you. That subscribe button is also very important for us. Trying to hit 40,000 subs, Joe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where are we now?
33,500. It's a slug, mate. It's a fucking marathon, not a sprint.
Did we hit 30,000 at the start of the year?
Yeah.
Okay.
We haven't climbed a lot this year.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I think we put out the best live stream games on the Tinterwebs now.
Definitely. 100%. Everyone else is shit.
I mean, that's strong. I think we put out, with all our new fancy camera work, including Joe.
I don't have any. Someone was like, I blame Joe. I haven't. I've got liquid death. Ooh. Hashtag not.
Hashtag expensive water.
Hashtag not sponsored.
So I was hoping he'd do it on stream, but he didn't. Joe has converted himself. Do you want to show them old Vulcan?
Oh, he's in a bag somewhere.
You've binned old Vulcan.
Everyone knows what old Vulcan looks like. He's been around for the last 16 years.
Yeah.
I
And
made
here's
new
new
Vulcan.
Vulcan that Joe made just now. Look at that.
Yeah. I was going to do him on the stream, but then I was like, I want to get the tough job out of the way and then build easy stuff during stream.
Yeah.
Because if I was converting during stream, I would not be communicating. And I made him out of a Gravis.
Well,
man.
there's a Gravis captain, a Heresy backpack and shoulder pads and cape.
Well, he's a normal Gravis Marine, not even a captain.
A bold move. I'd have had the Gravis. What? I was going to buy you the Gravis captain. You'd have got the fancy loincloth.
Yeah, but that would have been
well.
then, not now.
Correct. No, it's just a bit of patience, Joe.
No. So, Gravis guy, Vulcan's left arm spear and back banner, and then the left shoulder pad
Joe kit
from a
bashing.
Heresy guy, the backpack from a Heresy guy, and the cape from a Heresy guy, and then the right shoulder pad is from a Terminator, and then the head is from the Salamander's upgrade bit,
Yeah.
and then his little clothy thing between his legs is from the Aggressors.
He's all right though, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's getting there.
He'll do. You'll do.
Need to fix that problem in there.
Yeah, there's a gap in there. I don't know what to do to fill the gap. I don't want to just fill said gap with
That way.
stuff and things.
In here, where his shoulder pad meets his backpack with the Gravis, it doesn't quite fit because it's Heresy backpack on Gravis Marine. Any ideas? Greatly appreciated.
I just need a really big shoulder pad to go on there. I might have some bigger shoulder pads at home. I've super glued the shoulder pad on, so basically it will just pop off.
Joe loves a good kit bash as well, Hungry Bert. So he's now making space. We're basically at the moment, I have 2 here. I have Space Marine Jump Captain and Lady Yvraine.
Yeah.
Right? Or Yvraine, if you listen to Lilith Hasbrook's the audiobook, right?
Yeah.
She's a stunning model. I want to build her at some point as well. Basically, Joe and I at the moment, as I'm sure you're well aware, are on a monumental Space Marine hype at the moment.
Yep.
I haven't had this much love for Space Marines since 6th edition, when I last built a full Space Marine army and used to be able to field 2,000 points of Blood Angels.
Yeah.
That was the last time, 6th edition was the last time I had this level of Space Marine hype.
Yeah.
And with all the stuff that's come out with Primaris and stuff, I've tried repeatedly to get into Space Marine hype, and I've kind of struggled, I've kind of faltered.
Yeah.
And this time round, the game has been enough to push me over the edge. I'm aware people are probably bored about us talking about Space Marines and Space Marine 2 right now, but if you ask us what we're building Space Marines. However, although related, the topic for today is slightly different. It is related to Space Marine, but it's not related to, well, it is related to Space Marine, but it's not about Space Marine specifically.
Yeah.
Okay, so for people that are bored about Space Marine specifically, fear not, that's not what we're talking about. As you probably know, with running the channel, I don't know if I have to is the right word, but I typically have quite a strong presence across the social media world because I kind of have to for the business. So I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, etc. And I would say that specifically at places like Twitter, some Facebook groups, but specifically places like Twitter, there's a lot of stuff going on right now around people that are not typically what you would call Warhammer nerds or Warhammer fans or Warhammer gamers or hobbyists. Essentially what's happened because Space Marine 2 is this has been pushed out to a significantly larger audience than you would normally expect a Warhammer product to go out to.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people have got eyes on the Warhammer 40,000 universe that didn't in the past.
No.
And some people have gone, I like the game, cool, I'm done. And some people have gone, and what I've heard from some bigger influencers out there, some people have gone, this is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm now tempted to dive in and learn a little bit more about the lore, the narrative, the setting, the universe. And maybe, just maybe, that might be a stepping stone into these individuals perhaps finding themselves with models on the table.
Yeah.
Right? They might actually get themselves into the hobby. And I think that from my perspective, that can only be a good thing. However, because of my social media presence, you see all manner of things, some positive, and unfortunately some negative.
Yep.
And I've seen a lot of people, I say a lot, I think maybe it's just a louder shout because it's a harsher set of words, but I have seen comments on social media from people who have categorically stated they don't want it to become mainstream, they don't want more people in the hobby, they don't want all these. The word I see most commonly used, and hilariously was a word that was also recently applied to Louise Sugden, right?
Yeah.
This word that I've seen bandied about quite a lot are tourists.
Oh, I fucking hate that term.
I fucking hate that term. I'm glad you said that, Joe.
I hate it with passion. So, this isn't a new thing with social media either. Do you... This is a stupid question to ask you. Did you ever watch Stranger Things? The TV series?
No.
On Netflix.
I've heard it's good though.
It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
It's a great series. In the last series of Stranger Things, there's a character called Eddie. Right? And Eddie epitomizes how society viewed goth metal rockers during the 80s.
Okay.
Right? And in the 80s, there was a big outcry from the news groups and things, media, about trying to get rid of Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Because it was like the occult, and they thought they would be, basically, parents thought that their kids were joining cults because they were playing D&D. Right? Mm-hmm. One of the bands, there's an incredibly famous scene in the series, I won't spoil it for everyone, but there's a bit where he's on top of a trailer playing Metallica on his guitar.
Yeah.
It's an incredible scene. It's great. And then what happened was, because he did it, and it was this TV program, Metallica became more kind of prevalent. Because everyone's like, what's this music? I really like this music. People that never heard Metallica before were like, this is incredible, right? And then you had people on social media saying, no, who are all these fake Metallica fans? Ugh. You know?
We don't
want them. You're not a real fan. You didn't listen to them when you weren't even born. You know, it's not that you're only old enough now to kind of appreciate this kind of music. And then what happened is Metallica came out, and they were like, "We love this. This is great. We want new people finding our music.
Of course, yeah.
Right? We want to expand people's minds. We want fuckloads of money. You know, you know. They were like, we want these new fans. The same thing happened with." I can't remember her name, but it was the Running Up That Hill song, you know, as made famous by a lady whose name I can't remember, and then was covered by Placebo in early 2000s, right? And the same thing happened. They were like, oh, who are these people kind of coming in, listening to this music and appreciating this song from 20 plus years ago? Well, 80s, 30 years ago, right? And the same thing's happening now with Warhammer, and I really don't like it.
I hate it. That was Kate Bush, apparently.
Kate Bush.
That was a long
Yes.
way. There's a long way. It's a long way for Joe to say. I look deep into the camera when I say this. Gatekeeping is a cunt's trick, right?
I mean, yes.
In short.
it's...
So Joe and I have discussed this off camera, hence I made the title. The title says, we're excited about more people discovering Warhammer, or something akin to that, right? And I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, absolutely believe this. If you found the channel since looking at Space Marine stuff, which I imagine you haven't, because we're not growing massively, but if you have found the channel, if someone's recommended the channel, if someone's posted the video somewhere and you've come and watched this first time, we are not a gatekeepery channel.
No.
We want to make this product, whether it be AOS, whether it be Heresy, whether it be Old World, whether it be 40k, whether it be hobbying, painting, playing, video gaming, we want to make this accessible for absolutely everybody who comes and watches the channel. And even if, like, we've had people that have said, my wife or girlfriend likes watching the Talking Head streams. We've got people that watch the game streams who have no idea what's going on the table. No idea at all, but they laugh and they joke and they enjoy themselves. So, first things first, as a channel, we will not gatekeep anything. We're never going to keep you out. If we ever talk about something you're like, I don't understand what they're talking about, I don't understand what they're going on about, stick your virtual hand up and say, what are you talking about? What does that mean?
Yeah.
We will explain it. We won't look at you and be like, I can't believe you don't know.
Yeah. Read a book. I hate that phrase.
Honestly, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So, personally, something like Space Marine 2, and obviously this is this is perhaps a prerequisite to what's going to happen when this universe hits the Amazon scene and goes live on Amazon with whichever film, TV series, or whatever it is they make. Yeah. Fingers crossed, hoping that still happens. I'd also like to think that the success of Space Marine 2 makes Amazon go, we want this series.
Yeah, so I can't remember if it was in Thames or somewhere, I saw it and they were like the success of this game in the last week has put some real fucking pressure on Games Workshop and Amazon.
I'd argue it's put more pressure on Amazon than Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Because Games Workshop can be like, look how popular that is.
Yeah, look how much this games company has made. Look how much money we've made, kind of thing.
Look how well that's going down. Look at these streamers. We were talking earlier about certain streamers and video gamers out there that are now playing this game. People like Stone Mountain, 2.4 million subscribers. Jack Frags, 4 million subscribers, I think.
Possibly, I think even more.
Stod, 600,000. Tomographic, 850,000. This is some big video gamers that are now playing this universe, and people are going, what's that? And a couple of them, Stone has said it on his videos, Tomo said it on his videos, have then gone and looked deeper into the lore and the narrative and gone, what's going on?
But even my girlfriend, who could not give less of a shit about Warhammer, right? Like, to see me playing this game.
I am sorry, chat. It is confirmed. Joe is in fact taken.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We'd like to keep it a secret, keep the sex appeal.
Yeah.
But...
That's exactly where we have you on, Joe. It's the sex appeal.
And she's like, what is this? And then she watched me play through the first couple of missions. And then so what's mad is I had to explain what Death Watch were, but to explain what Death Watch were, I had to explain what the Legions were, and then to explain what the Legions were, I had to explain what Primarchs and the Emperor were, and because of that, and then I had to explain what the Horus Heresy, because why are there good Space Marines and why are there bad Space Marines? And then I was like, where do cherubs come from? Where do servo skulls exist? Why are there servitors? And she was lapping it up, and she was like, this sounds great. So she's like, I want to watch you play more of this game because it looks exciting.
The universe is, if you look at visually, a Marine stood there overlooking a canyon with a horde of Tyranids running through it. That is an exciting universe to be in, right? So, but yeah, I've seen this word tourist a lot before Joe went off on his little rant about it. Yeah. I've seen this word tourist bandied about a lot, and tourists, to some extent, everybody who comes in this universe for the first time is a tourist until they're not. Yeah. Every single person, all of us, at some point was a tourist. Where we're dabbling in it and going, what is this?
We were all tourists in the Marvel universe. Let's be honest. Like, a lot of people that are around now in the hobby who are in their 20s, right, weren't even around when the Phantom Menace came out, right?
Yeah.
And they're big Star Wars fans.
But a tourist is a tourist until they're not. Yeah. A tourist is a tourist until they decide to move there. Okay? If I go to the south of France right now, I'm a tourist. If I then decide I want to live there, I'm no longer a tourist. I now live there. Yeah. It's the same with the Warhammer 40k universe. Yeah. Or any of the Warhammer lore. But you're a tourist until you're not. Right? So you could be a tourist in the Warhammer and be looking in and going, I'm quite interested by that. I'm not in yet. Yeah. I'm not building, I'm not painting, I'm not even reading, but I'm kind of interested by that. And then you're not a tourist anymore because you're like, oh, fuck, I've bought a box of models.
Yeah, it was like, I'd never really played Resident Evil games until about 3 years ago. Now, I've played all of them. Not all of them, I've missed out a couple of the like side ones because they've not had remakes. And like Resident Evil Village is my favourite game ever. But I, as I was first experiencing it, I was talking about it to people and they were like, but it's weird because like depends on who you talk to. Because if you talk to some of these grumpuses, they're like, how would you not play these already? I don't want to talk to you. You didn't play the original, so playing the remakes doesn't make you a real Resident Evil fan. And then you talk to people like, you got to play this one.
Why do people get like that though,
It doesn't make sense. And then you're like, and I was talking to some other people, and they're like, oh, if you really enjoyed that one, you got to play this one. You got to play this one. It's like, this one's kind of like an older remake, so the graphics aren't as good, but it's really good fun. You got to play it.
Maybe chat can use postcards to try and help me understand, but I don't understand why anyone in any franchise ever, whether it's 40k, whether it's Resident Evil, whether it's Lord of the Rings, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's the MCU, I don't understand this, I don't want new people coming in.
Yeah, and you've got to think, right, Games Workshop stores exist to bring new players in. They don't exist.
It's just this weird elitism of you didn't know it when I knew it. You didn't know it before they were famous. Who fucking cares?
Yeah. And Games Workshop wants new players, right? So the Warhammer stores that exist on the street are a monumental expenditure, almost waste of money to Games Workshop. Right?
It costs them a lot.
It costs them so much money, and the money they make back from the physical stores isn't that great. Because they make all their money through direct sales from the website and through third-party websites selling the product for them.
Their accounts don't show that.
Yeah, but their stores...
Equal sales in store to website, basically.
Really?
Yep.
But it costs them a fortune. Because you've got to pay...
So the difference is the cost. So the profit margin, so net profit will be different.
Yeah.
But gross, about the same.
Yeah. But then like those stores are costing them like 20 plus grand a month.
Well, probably some of them in some of the places.
Yeah, and like the one that was in Covent Garden was probably very expensive. So you've got to think, right? Like the reason those stores exist isn't just to sell you product, but to get children in a less child catchery kind of way. It's like GW members of staff have just stood outside next to the door with a giant butterfly net, and they pull them in.
I mean, some of them that I've met could be.
It's like hungry hippos, you know? And so, but they want kids to come in, right? Because what do kids like doing? Spending their parents' money.
Right, okay, good.
Right.
Glad we went down that route. I was going to say hanging out with priests.
Yeah, you know? So they like going in there. Games Workshop wants to invite kids into the shop because they get excited. And they're like, and then the parents come in and they're like, what's this? Is this okay for my children?
I was in GW Southampton the other day.
Yeah, for kids.
I probably shouldn't say this, to be fair, because, mind you, I don't think the person will watch the channel or know that I'm talking about them, so it's probably irrelevant until I get an angry message. But there was a dad and his daughter.
Yeah.
And they were teaching the daughter to play. And I was like, I said to the staff member, I was like, it's so good to see young people at that age starting the hobby, not playing video games. And he was like, I don't think it's for her. I said, what do you mean? I think it's for dad, but he doesn't want to tell me that it's for dad. Because she doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And he's getting really into it, but she's the one rolling the dice.
Yeah.
But he's the one taking it on board more. I was like, oh, right, okay. And I still think that to some extent, what exists at the moment is this barrier to the hobby that is, I don't want to open it up. I don't want to open up about it and admit to it. I don't want to tell people I'm a wargamer because everyone's going to be like, oh, you fucking nerd. It's better than it ever was. It is better than it ever was. And shows like Big Bang Theory and the MCU becoming huge has definitely improved that. Things like Space Marine 2 and the Amazon deal are going to make it better and better and better. Yeah. And I, for one, welcome it. And I think that slowly but surely, more and more people who perhaps, and this is the other thing, right? You can have a person who's been a closet wargamer for years and someone's still going to call them a tourist. Yeah. Like I said, I could not believe for 1 minute that someone in a YouTube video comment had called Louise a tourist. A person who works for Games Workshop at Warhammer World.
Yeah. It's absolute insanity, isn't it?
It's madness.
Yeah.
she's a tourist. I was like, that is like, it was so, it rage-induced Peachy so much, he used the C word on Twitter, Joe.
That's amazing.
Peachy used the C word on Twitter, which I was impressed by and shooketh to my core at the same time.
Were you like Emperor Palpatine? He's like, yes,
Yeah.
let the hate through.
Come to the dark side, Peachy.
Let the hate flow
You're
through
one
you.
of mine now.
Yeah. He is one of us. He just doesn't know it yet.
The more he comes on the channel, the more people realise he's one of us.
Yeah. He's a bit of a deviant, that boy.
You reckon?
Yeah, he's like, you think that he's a real nice, clean cut, but he's a big fan of the whips and chains. You know, he's
reckon?
a big fan of. He's a big Slash fan, isn't he?
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, in that regard, yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Anyway, I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to understand how anybody could think for 1 minute that gatekeeping any kind of franchise, hobby, or anything is a positive.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. It's never made sense in my mind. Perhaps people can try and, hopefully you lot are all on our side, right? Hopefully you lot all think like we think. Hopefully you all think that this is ridiculous and actually it being bigger is better for everybody. Absolutely better for everybody. The more money in the hobby, the more things GW can do in the future, the more TV shows, the more video games, the more films, the more models, the more. And the more in and around my face, the better. Because then you end up with more events and you end up with more tournaments and you end up with more gaming groups.
Well, the more money the Games Workshop makes, the more they're going to put out at the end of the day. The more this hobby will grow.
Logically speaking, yes.
Yeah, right? And I'd like to get to a point where I walk into Primark and I could buy Warhammer t-shirts. You know?
That's cool though, right?
Yeah.
Currently you can buy Marvel ones in Primark.
Yeah. You can walk into HMV now and buy like anime t-shirts I've never even heard of.
There's a shop in Southampton. I'll take you in one day. I won't take you in today because I've got the bike and that'd be weird.
Is that the one? Is that the blacked out windows?
No, there's
and the 18 plus on it.
No.
Oh.
No. There's one that I want you to be able to walk out of. There's one in Southampton. I'll take you to it. I can't remember the name of the shop, right?
Yeah.
But it's down the bottom of West Quay, and you go in there, and it's a fucking nerd's paradise, Joe.
Right, yeah.
It's got racks upon racks of band T-shirts and stuff, but it's got like a section which is Star Wars, and a section which is Marvel, and a section which is, and you could buy like replica Star Wars helmets and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
And what I saw the other day for the first time was Warhammer, which I'm thinking about bringing to a Liam and Joe show, by the way, because it could be fun.
Yeah.
Warhammer 40k Risk, the board game. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's one thing, right? There's one thing that I saw on a shelf.
Yeah.
But that's something in a mainstream store.
Yeah.
It's a start.
The thing is, though, like we're at a stage now where they're releasing these board games, and most of the board games are pretty shit from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But it's getting the name out there. It's getting the brand out there. It's making it more recognisable, you know.
But yeah. Also, if you hear some funny noises, by the way, because I've just heard that.
They're installing a security door downstairs.
If you hear some funny noises, at the bottom of the building we have, just to in case you can hear that, at the bottom of the building is essentially 4 stories. The top floor is ours. The middle floor and the bottom floor, so the floor below and the floor below, aren't ours yet, but are hoping to soon be ours because we're opening up a shop and gaming venue. And the bottom floor, the basement essentially, is a garage that sits underneath the building, which is for housing cars. As part of trying to take on the lease for the whole building, the garage had a roller shutter door that we couldn't close because they wouldn't give us a key. And when we asked them why they wouldn't give us a key, it was a fire safety issue. They wouldn't give us the key because if someone shut themselves inside that garage and the fire alarm goes off, what the fire alarm does is it cuts the power to the building, and the garage door underneath was only electrically operated.
And they burned.
So if you are in the basement in the garage and you shut the door, I don't know why you do that, but if you did do that and the fire alarm went off, you'd be shut inside, and if the building burnt down, you'd die.
Crispy.
That's what would happen. So we said to them, that's not something we can take on a lease with because it's a fire safety risk. And they're like, well, we've solved that risk by not giving you a key. It's like, cool, which means I then can't shut the garage when no one's on the site and no one's on the premises, which means I also can't get buildings insurance.
Yeah.
Because the buildings insurance company goes, so if the garage door is open, someone could go underneath your building and set fire to it. Easy, set a fire in the middle of the outfit and up it goes. So we won't insure the building for you. It's like, right, that's a problem. So they've now refitted or retrofitted the garage door with a mechanism that now works. I can now open and close the door, which is good for buildings insurance. but the fire risk is there, so they're now building a hole in the wall, a big fucking hole in the wall, so they could put in a fire door for us, which is the noise you can hear as them cutting through concrete in the garage downstairs. Just in case you hear funny noises. All in all, bottom line is it's super positive because it's something that we needed to happen so we could progress the contract for Hobby House, and now it's being done.
Yeah.
So, come on. Anyway, I've seen some gifters come through.
Yeah.
We've already beat the Liam and Joe show because we've done half an hour. We've got more than 4.
Banging. Also,
I've had a nerve-wracking week, chat, because it's been an absolute struggle to get any gifters come through at all week. If you're feeling super generous, you want to help us hit the target, ! Gift, grift, member or member.
it's because everyone spent their money on Space Marine.
Which is great, and I love that, but please.
Yeah, please stop doing that.
Please. Can't hear it. Okay, good. But also it gives me a chance to give you a cool update, right? Please gift some memberships, you beautiful people.
I've never built heavy intercessors before.
They're beautiful.
I love them.
They're my favourite.
Because these guys are a bit derp. They're okay, but they're a bit...
Heavy intercessors are better than aggressors.
Yeah.
I love heavy intercessors, Joe. They're such a nice kit.
The heavy is my second favourite class to play as in Space Marine.
Heavy intercessors are stunning, man.
Someone asked the other day, can I play as a Salamander on Space Marine 2? I didn't have the Salamander skins, but I have now.
Make sure they're wearing their PPE and have complete RAMs. But they don't work for me. I couldn't give a fuck. They're under their own permit. Don't care.
It's always computer talk with him. RAMs.
Or you talk about a special kind of sheep.
Flanges. So stings and stuff. Oh, look, we've got to congratulate all these people for throwing their money at us professional beggars. Oh, what's going on here? Doing a thing.
That is quite literally what we are, though. We are professional beggars at this point.
Thank you, Sprugly. He's got One Punch Man as his picture. Just finished my job for the day. Hour and a half drive home. Just in time for Liam and Joe show. Entertain me, you gorgeous maniacs.
Have a safe drive, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Once he just got home.
Listening on the drive home is lovely, though, right? Our dulcet tones in your car stereo.
Do you know it's really annoying?
Joe started watching YouTube in the car as well. Joe has taken out YouTube Premium as a free trial, and I bet he's about to tell me, I don't want to live without it anymore. It's good, isn't it? It's so good, isn't it? And no ads as well, right?
It's the ads. It's the fact that ads are gone. It's so good. And I'm one of those people, right, through just through habit, I'll be on my phone, doesn't matter what I'm doing, and then it's like, close screen, going down. I'm like, oh, fuck, I was watching a video, and that kind of thing. And then I have to go and find it, set it back up. Now I could do that, and I can still hear it.
YouTube Premiums go. The other thing as well is, for the creator's perspective, right, if you watch a video with YouTube Premium,
they make more money.
It gives them max ad revenue.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, you've got Premium. Then the creator gets max ad revenue.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh.
Taking out YouTube Premium, Joe, I promise you was a mistake because you can't. I tell you what, if the trial runs out and you don't pay for it, I reckon 2 days before you're like, I can't do this anymore. Because I have multiple YouTube accounts. I've got one for the main channel, I've got one for the gaming channel, one for the bike channel.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I switch account to do something, and I forget I've switched account, and I go in to watch a video, and I search the video, and I find the video, and I press play, and then the advert starts. I'm like, no! I have to swap it straight away because I can't do it.
What was I watching? I was listening to. I know we talk about it all the time. I was listening to one of my favourite things at the moment, and this is also a great thing about gatekeeping, right? It's on brand. Is my favourite thing at the moment is watching channels and people who have never heard of Warhammer or played Space Marine before play Space Marine 2.
The reaction, almost like an actual genuine reaction.
Genuine reactions to the universe. And it's kind of like hearing myself when I was 10, 12, you know?
There was a thing on Twitter I saw yesterday where someone had retweeted a post from someone who had taken a screenshot from the game and went, what the fuck is this? And it's a cherub, right? And someone had retweeted it and I often forget how absolutely mental and fucked up the shit that we all take for granted is when someone who's never seen it goes, what the fuck is that naked little baby with wings carrying something round?
Yeah, right. And so this is part of the thing. So I was explaining the more... So there's a couple different versions of where cherubs come from, right? My favourite is the slightly more wrong, fucked up version.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't talk about on the YouTubes.
Go for it.
It's not great.
Really? Like how risque is this?
Because it's a sensitive subject for some people. So basically, like, a lot of children, babies, aren't born alive,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
And the
Which is a
Imperium
sensitive subject, Joe, you're right, yeah.
is recycling them
And turning them into cherubs.
and turning them into cherubs, right? And I was explaining this to my partner. Right, explanation of my partner, she spent like 10 years working in end-of-life care,
Yes.
right? So her job was basically sitting next to people.
Which, by the way, is amazing.
Waiting for them to die.
Big shout out to Joe's Mrs. Townsend who did that.
So during COVID, doubly shit. Because the families could. So basically her job was like, what did you do for 8 hours today? I sat next to an old person. So her sense of humour is pretty dark.
At least, with all due and total respect to your missus, I take my hat off to her for doing that. At least she was sitting next to old people. There's a woman who lives on our street at home, who Luce talks to quite frequently, who is a nurse in a children's cancer terminal ward. Yeah. And I was like, I don't. Yeah. I'd rather go back to war. Yeah. Quite frankly, fuck that.
I'd rather go to like World War I.
I'd rather go back to Afghanistan than ever think. Honestly,
so her, and I was explaining to her. She's like, "This is amazing. This is disgusting and wrong." And she's like, "Yeah, but what do they do?" And I was like, "Well, the Imperium's got a real thing for candles." Right?
There's a lot as well.
There's a lot of candles, right? And you're on a spaceship and there's doors opening and closing, and it's like you've carried a lit candle around the house. If you tried getting a birthday cake with candles on it from the kitchen to the living room, right? It's a nightmare, right?
But I have also seen those candles that you can't blow out.
Yeah.
And I struggle to believe that the Imperium in the 41st millennium haven't developed the same technology.
Yeah. So I was like, someone needs to keep those candles lit.
Yeah.
You know? So perfect job for cherubim, right? Also, like carrying shit you can't be bothered to carry. You know, if you've just been shopping, you're like, here you go, baby. Right? 4 candles.
Yeah, that's the 2 running stretch, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was a Tommy Cooper one.
No, it's 2 running.
Yeah, the 2 runnings. But
there'll be some young people in there at the moment, like Ash and fucking Starpipe, like, who's 2 runners?
Yeah, and I was like, and then I was explaining, like, obviously, like, servo skulls come from like dead people. Or they're criminals, and that's where servitors come from.
Well,
right?
servitors can also be like failed marine aspirants.
Yeah. So basically, like if you grow up and you've got a deformity, servitor. You know. So I was like, the Imperium is not a great place.
No,
like, we are not the good guys. I was like, the best thing that you could hope for if you exist within the Imperium is that you somehow get to go to a school.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you get to go to a school, you might end up as an officer in the guard, or the best place you can go is the RBTs. Statistically, the most safe job. You might have to go into the Underhive, but normally you just walk around cities patrolling with a shotgun. And you get a robot dog.
Because if you go to the Underhive, that's pretty shit as well.
That's pretty shit as well. So it's all bad, right? And I was like, and so they've got servo skulls flying around with candles on their heads. Someone needs to keep those candles lit all the time. So there's going to be a servo skull and a baby flying after it. Like,
so dead man's head, followed by a baby,
on wings. And I was like, my favourite thing about Warhammer 40k is the little details that they've put in, like servo skulls. And then I had to explain what the Mechanicum is, because someone makes all of these things, right? And I was like, the Mechanicum is like the source of all of our knowledge. But they don't know anything about technology, because all knowledge of technology is stuff that they've basically found from before.
STCs.
I was like, they think that horses that exist now are smaller than what dogs were. So that's why the Mechanicum cavalry all ride giant dogs.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like there's discussions within the Mechanicum.
This is law time with Joe, by the way.
Now. What were monkeys, right? And like all Mechanicum think that monkeys' tails were basically designed to administer poison. And that there's like a small faction within the Mechanicum that think monkeys' tails are actually used to hold on to trees. You know, it's just completely messed up stuff like that. So to explain that to people is great.
Yes. And you're right, like when a person experiences the unabridged version of the 40k universe for the first time, and people actually tell them the proper grim dark shit, it does make me go, hey, we just accept this. This is just a thing.
This is just thing.
Yeah.
It's like, so I was going into this real deep dive on stuff, but it was the more obscure stuff. That's like I was explaining what Gellerfields were and what the warp was, and why. Because obviously there's like demons and stuff in the game.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. So hence YouTube Plus. I like listening to people for the first time is my new favourite thing. And so having it because I know what the game looks like, so I don't need to have that on. But hearing a group of people play the game and them talking about things Stone Mountain was playing the other day, and they were calling the melter rifle the fire shotgun
because it kind of is.
Because it's just a fire shotgun. I was like, that's great. That's great. So they already know the purpose of this thing: short-ranged fire gun.
I'm actually kind of here for it as well.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the having people have that fresh experience and being able to watch or listen or sometimes in person experience that with them for the first time when they first dive in that universe, that lore, it's so. What's the word? It's just energizing when you see people go. It's like when you take people to, if you ever take people to Warhammer World who've never been around the museum and you walk them around the museum for the first time and you look at their reaction to some of the dioramas, you come out more energized than seeing it just for yourself because you're watching someone else's first reaction. I think it's amazing.
And then it's like, and she's like, look at the architecture. She's like, they've made some incredible buildings. And the buildings are huge. I was like, yeah, because the Hive City goes to the top of the atmosphere. And some of them go down to almost touching the core of a planet, and it's the size of a continent.
Yeah.
Dan says, I've never seen a fire extinguisher on a battle barge. a lot of candles. So thank you, Stick Monkey, for 5 gifted memberships.
Love you, Stick Monkey.
I hope that when you go home tonight, there is a trail of rose petals from your front door all the way to your bed, right? And on your bed is a controller so you can play Space Marine 2 already loaded and a big tub of KFC chicken.
That's great video content, actually. Not that. That would be weird. Great video content. So someone just said law reactions. Where is it? Law reactions are a guilty pleasure of mine. There was a thing I was watching recently where they had like Gen Z or Gen X, whatever the latest fucking bunch of twats is, reacts to old Eminem songs, right? So he brought out his most recent album and his most recent song, and they're like, it's awful, we should cancel it. And people are like, hold my beer, listen to this old one from years ago. And they did like a Gen Z reacts to. I'd love to do like a reacts to Warhammer 40k's most disgusting lore. That'd be a quality little series.
Oh yeah, that would be incredible. There was a lady on YouTube, and she does book reviews. I can't remember how I discovered her.
It was a lady on YouTube, that's how you discovered her.
Because she reviewed loads of books, and she ended up reviewing the first Cypher's Kane book. This is her first introduction to Warhammer. It's the first Cypher's Kane book, and that's like, and I love the Cypher's Kane book. So her response would be like, I'm trying to figure out who these characters. There's a lot of names. And I don't really know what these races are, but I don't like this person. She's like, Cypher's Kane is a horrible human being. Like, he's terrible. And she's got Jurgen, and he's just really smelly and gross. I was like, oh, she's getting it. And she's like, I don't like Anthony. I don't like the Inquisitor.
For the rest of you, well, that's Cypher's Kane.
Cypher's Kane. But then what happened is that she had a series of videos of her watching other people's like lore explanation videos and stuff.
That's cool.
And I was like, that's cool. I like seeing people's journeys into things, into the hobby and experiencing it all.
I want to know, is there anyone out there in chat?
I want to know.
Right, whilst Joe continues to get through the gifted memberships and stuff. By the way, I know you're all saying you're upset about me scraping so close to my microphone. I wasn't scraping close.
I can do that instead.
I absolutely cannot leave mould lines over the plasma coils of plasma guns. It annoys the shit out of me. Does anybody out there actually think that keeping people out of this hobby is a good thing? Because I see so much of it on social media, and I'm like, is there anyone amongst us who does think it's a good thing and we can have a sensible conversation about it. That's also important. And what I don't want is someone to come in chat and say, I actually don't want it to go out to more people, and for everyone to go, you're a fucking idiot, because I don't like that. I never like the standpoint. I don't care whether it's based on Warhammer, religion, fucking politics. I don't like the standpoint. This is my opinion, and anything you say different to it is wrong. Fuck that. That's not how the world works, right? If there's anyone out there that thinks that they don't want more people in the hobby, they don't want it to become kind of more mainstream and more exposed, is there anyone out there who's prepared to have a sensible conversation about it? Because I'm genuinely interested.
And then we can point and laugh at you.
Because I see people like band around the things like the word tourist, etc., and I really hate it. I don't like it, and I'm dead against it. But I'm genuinely interested. Right, cool. That's me said, Joe. You can.
Yeah. But anyway, you can't stop the hobby now. It's got a section on Pornhub. So
that's it. Fuck off. That's it. Of course, you know that.
Yeah. There's a porn star that tweeted about how terrible the Custodes Codex was.
What was that? I thought it was just a wind-up.
No, it wasn't. Because I was like, "Is this real?" And then we spoke to someone at Games Workshop, and they're like, "No, this is a wind-up." And I was like, "I don't know."
And then you found.
And then I went digging.
Of course he did.
And then I found said person, and then I found there'd been multiple tweets about Warhammer things. So I was like, "Cool."
Okay.
Cool. And then took my trousers off. No. So thank you, Alec Man. He says, hipster instinct is real for us all. I can relate.
Hipster instinct?
Yeah, so I sometimes have a hipster instinct, but not about people in the hobby, but about armies.
And leggies.
So like, if too many people are playing one army, then I kind of like stop playing it for a while.
But at the moment, every man and his dog's making Space Marines, and you're still making Space Marines.
Yeah, but I like
you're not that hipster.
I like Space Marines first.
Don't do that. That's part of the problem.
No, so I'm doing Salamanders now because no one does Salamanders. You know, I've got Raven Guard. No one has Raven Guard.
You do Salamanders now because no one likes Salamanders, or because the Eston specifically asked for Salamanders.
Mainly because the Eston asked. But I've got a Salamander as Space Marine 2 now, and he's got a multi-melter. He's like, it was great. Much satisfaction. Big wow. Thank you, Jill. Says, can't see Louise getting the same amount of hate or being called a tourist if she was a bloke.
Correct.
Right? Gatekeeping sexism at its finest.
100%.
Well, this kind of spills into like the female custodes realms as well, doesn't it? I don't get it. We want more women in the hobby.
I 50% get it.
Yeah.
Right, controversially, because I feel this pain. I did not like the way in which it was introduced. Do I care about there being female custodians in the hobby, in the lore, in the narrative? No. Yeah. Do I want them? No. I don't want female custodians in the lore and the narrative. I don't think we need it. We have whole factions dedicated to female. Sisters of Battle, Adress is just pure female, right? The Custodians have the Sisters of Silence. They have a female element to the Emperor's finest fighting force, right? Eldar Drakari are male and female. Astra Militarum now is better represented on the tabletop as male and female, but in the lore it's always been that way.
Yeah.
I don't feel like female Custodians was a thing we need, and I didn't want them personally. That being said, do I care that they've introduced them? No, I don't. I don't actually. It doesn't affect me. I can choose to build a whole Custodians army tomorrow. And do you know what? I don't have to put a single female holder if I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because that's my choice. Because it's a hobby. Because you could choose, if you really wanted to print out a ton of female heads and build female Space Marines, right? If you really want to trigger the internet, you could do that as well.
I've seen it done.
If you did it, would I care? No. Is it my Space Marines? No. That's not what I would do. Some people forget that this is the beauty of this hobby, is you can do what you want. You can kit bash and create. That it purposefully leaves, there's people out there who have written articles on things like White Dwarf, who are saying, we specifically left gaps so that you could create your own things in this universe. It's a giant sandbox where you can create whatever you want. So do I care if that exists? No. Do I think it's a positive if it brings more people in? Yes. The only thing I would seriously criticise Games Workshop for in that whole thing is the way they brought it in. That's my only problem, is a single page in a Custodian Codex with no real build-up to then get questioned on Twitter and to say, it's always been like that.
Yeah,
that is the triggering point for me.
That was a bold call.
Like, I feel like go to someone who's been screaming for female custodians for years, i.e. an ADB, and say, we want to do this thing. How do you fancy helping us build to the point where it launches?
Yeah.
That's a cool way of doing it. He's been asking for it for ages.
Yeah.
So he's probably gone, fuck, it's a thing now. Start writing. What they could have said to him, we want to launch this new codex, right?
Yeah.
We want to launch a new book at the same time, written by you, Aaron.
Yeah.
And we'll launch a single celebratory model for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right? Really shut the fucking gatekeepers up.
Yeah.
But here's a whole book that tells you how they never existed and now they're a thing.
Yeah.
Do that. And then there will still be people that will go, DEI is ruining my hobby. Shut up. It's the 41st fucking millennium.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think that's a particular concern in the 41st millennium, where people come from, the colour of their skin. I don't think anyone gives a fuck. Yeah. No one really cares. They're just literally trying to survive. You're not going to stand there and go, oh, no, that person can't come and save you because of the colour of their skin, their sexuality, or their religion. You're not going to do that in the 40th. So it literally doesn't matter in the 41st millennium. No. Everyone's fucking equal. They're just trying to not be eaten by a tyrannid.
Yeah.
But if you at least put some effort into building to that point as a company that has the resource available to them, I think that 50, 60% of the people that had a problem with it would probably be shut up immediately. Yeah. That's never been a thing because the law says it's never been a thing. Yeah, but here's this new piece of law that we've commissioned that now says it's a thing. And yes, it wasn't a thing before, but it's now a thing for these reasons. Yeah. Because someone like Aaron could absolutely come up with reasons as to why that's now a thing.
Yeah. Oh, easily.
But otherwise, to simply say I don't want female custodians because I don't want female custodians and that's why is a bit. It's a bit of a weak argument. Yeah. And to say, here's the biggest problem with that argument as well, Joe. Yeah. It's not the fact that I don't want female custodians because I don't want female custodians. That argument to a point is okay. Yeah. But I don't want female custodians so you can't have them is where I have a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's like, you're having fun wrong.
Yeah, you're not adhering to my world, but that's not what the 41st millennium is. The 41st millennium, if it belongs to anyone, it belongs to Games Workshop.
Yeah.
But actually, realistically, the 41st millennium belongs to all of us. It belongs to you and I, it belongs to all of us.
Yeah.
It belongs to everybody, and you can create whichever piece of narrative you want.
Yeah. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to me.
But it belongs to I.
Yeah, but and I watched that Tives episode.
I'm waiting for it all to come out so I can binge it in one go.
It's really good.
I've heard it's really good, yeah, I'm excited for it.
Basically, it's a Sister of Silence and Brienne of Tarth go out and fuck up some Tyranids. Tyranids getting a lot of exposure at the moment, and I'm all for it. I'm like,
they're like the ultimate bad guy that's not Chaos Space Marines, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're going to showcase your lore, Chaos Space Marines versus Space Marines is fine, but it's just Space Marines versus Space Marines. If you really want to showcase your lore, I think the way to do it is by going, here's Space Marines, so you know what a Space Marine is now, but here's also a super...
I think Games Workshop's learnt that orcs are the wrong enemy to advertise to the masses.
It depends on how they're portrayed, I think.
I think, like, 40k orcs.
I still think it depends on how they're portrayed. If you portray them Beast to Rise's 40k orcs, they can be truly terrifying.
Yeah, but not piss-head football fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the problem. So, whereas Tyranids are accepted by all. Space aliens want to eat us, num-num.
Well, Tyranids are ultimately terrifying, aren't they?
So I thought the episode was great. I think it was incredible. They did a really good job. And I'm like, I want more. You know, more muscle mummies, please.
Yeah. Of course, Joe. Of course.
Yeah.
We've got some more thank yous.
Thank you, Stick Monkey. Only thing that should be gatekeeped is the Thanes. Keep Cumbrians out of here. It takes them 2 to 3 hours to read and understand the messages.
Yeah, and then when they reply, they don't write in English anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about just pies and gravy. Right. Thank you, Cooney. He says, I am an example of someone introduced from the outside, and though I'll never paint and build unless Liam does it for me, I have a tape measure and I'm happy watching, enjoying the subject and supporting.
Yeah, so Mr. the Cooney is a guy who I met through gaming.
Yeah.
So I went to that special event in London with Dodd and Westy and Lackey. Yeah. Met Cooney through that because he's a mod on Westy's channel.
Yeah.
And got to know him, and him and I have stayed in touch since. And we've raided his Call of Duty streamers a couple of times. He comes and hangs out and chat all the time. Like, he's interested in the hobby, but doesn't want to actually do the hobby. That's still good for us, though.
Is Cooney playing Space Marine?
I don't know. He might still be in chat. Why didn't you ask him?
Are you playing Space Marine, Cooney? Maybe we should all play together.
Maybe we should.
With our pants off.
With our pants off, of course.
In our own homes, though.
Yeah.
I'll wear my dressing gown. Thank you, Evan Tominella. Basically, my partner hates men in dressing gowns.
Why?
I don't know. Super weird.
I don't really wear a dressing gown. I don't think I've ever really worn a dressing gown.
My one's the brown Jedi robe.
I mean, I'd probably wear that, but I wear that out.
I've worn it out a few times.
I think I wear that out in public.
Like, you know when it's like Halloween, you can't be bothered. And I was like, Star Wars dressing gown, done. So, and she hates it, so I wear it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah. Because I'm one of those partners. I found something you hate, so I'm going to do it all the time.
She's so lucky, Joe.
I know. Thank you, Evan Tominello, for 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Crumpets Panda. Gatekeepers are virgins. Why do you not want more people to share your cool shit with?
Yep.
Yeah. And ultimately, the more people that buy Space Marine 2, right, the more money the people that make it make. The more incentivized they are to do it again.
Yep.
Right? If it doesn't make any money and people don't buy it, they're like, well, that's a waste of time. I'm not doing that again. And the game that's out now won't get any support because they're like, we put it out. Do you know how many games, right, come out and within a month, they're like, cool, we're not supporting it anymore. Quite recently, there's been a lot of games that have come out and in less than 2 weeks, they've just pulled the game.
Because it's not performing.
Because it's not performing. They're like, we're going to pull it away and just pretend it never happened. Despite the months and months and months and months and years of effort we put into making it, we've made a bad product. People hate it. We're getting rid of it.
Yeah. Know? Well, like, for example, if you go !merch and go to our webpage, right, you'll find that there's still white dice in stock.
Yeah.
So I haven't had any more made.
Yeah.
But I've literally just had an email with a shipping notification for 1,000 more purple.
Purple's the best.
Because people like the purple and people want more purple, so I bought more purple dice.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was relevant to what you were saying, Joe, but I'm just getting in there that I've ordered more purple and they're on the way now.
Yeah. Basically, guess who chose and wanted purple dice?
Loose.
So basically, I make all the decisions from now on.
No, Joe. I'd be absolutely brassic in about a week.
No. I think this channel would be so much better off if I made all the decisions.
I don't think that would be the case.
It would be very much the case.
I don't think that would be the case at all.
All right, and you would thank me, and you'd be like, Joe, you are a genius. I should have listened to you sooner.
There's a video in that somewhere. I put Joe in charge for a month.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's a series, isn't it?
I think it would do great. It's like Idiot Abroad, but with Liam's financial future.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hungry Bert. We got Mikey because of games. 3 more players. Minus 3 more players. Mikey did his copied us, didn't he? He went and played Space Marine.
No, he didn't copy us.
No?
No, because he's already done I played such and such till I beat it before.
Yeah?
He's done that before, so he didn't copy us. It's no surprise he's doing it with Space Marine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
How many gifted are we on, Joe?
I don't know. 5 more. Pridders has given us 5.
Thank you, Pridders.
Tank the Unknowing has gifted 1. Thank you very much.
You've got to give Pridders a wish.
Oh, Pridders, I hope that next time you...
Have you run out already? We've only had 3 sets of 5.
No, because sometimes I say thinking ones and they're just a bit poo. I was like, I hope that next time you...
That's the D20 roll
next time you go to pick up a drink and you pick up the wrong one. Because sometimes, you know when you pick up a drink off of a shelf in a shop and then you put it in and you pay for it, you're like, oh, I picked up the wrong one. You know? I think... I hope that when you do that, you pick up the wrong drink, but it's better. You're like, oh, this is a surprise. Yeah? Yeah? I did that once. I went to buy beans and I picked up kidney beans. That was a shock.
That's not a good
That was a bad one.
That's a bad way around, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a bad way around.
That's not a thing to wish on someone.
Ruined your jacket, potatoes. Thank you, chaotic failure.
Okay, what's Ben say?
It says the only barriers to a hobby should be the ones you set yourself, not what other people try to set for you. People that think otherwise can get in the bin,
Correct.
in my opinion. You are correct, Chaotic Failure.
I agree with you. I agree with your opinion.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, it's a great super chat, but we can't talk about it because just agree with you. You were right. Well done, you. I hope you have a prosperous future.
Fuck off.
You know?
Oh, Joe, never change, mate.
And thank you, Chromis Panda, for 1 gift of membership. Thank you, Hokum Paints, for becoming a Jarl.
What y'all talking about? What legend?
And then Paul McLeod,
Paul McCracken.
he just donated $4.99. No message.
Legend.
I haven't looked at that, and it's moving quite quickly. So, Paul, can you just say something? I just wanted to assume that he was just being like, I love Joe. He's the best. Support everything that he says and does.
Seems like a fair assumption, Joe, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll wait. Thank you, Aaron. 582 Railways. I use Premium, and I'm listening to the stream whilst packing boxes at work.
Sounds like a fun time.
Scrivo says, please change, Joe. Be less Joe.
Scriver, you're lying.
Well,
You don't want that.
you don't want that. Otherwise, I'll tell everyone what I said about you.
No one wants less Joe.
No.
Everyone wants more Joe.
Yeah, I'll tell everyone. Tell everyone your secret. Your sexy secret. Thank you, Aaron, for 1 gift of membership.
Thank you, Aaron. You're a legend.
Thank you, Peter Taylor, for becoming a Scald. Said it was a gift as you didn't cough in 5 minutes. The drugs I'm on, the steroid inhaler I'm on, is actually helping.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Farmer George,
Thank you, Farmer George.
for gifting 5 memberships. I hope, Farmer George, that next time you visit Shaftesbury, I get to meet you in Tesco's.
No one visits Shaftesbury, Joe.
He was in Shaftesbury buying a cow the other week.
Buying a cow! Yeah, he probably was.
He said you bought a bull, didn't you? See, I pay attention.
Do you?
Yeah.
Not to me, you don't.
No, why would I?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I hope, Farmer George, that we meet by like a meet cute in a film, where he goes to pick up a bunch of candy floss grapes at the same time I do on a hands caress.
Switch account.
I won't tell you when though, so then you end up standing in Tesco for the next 3 weeks next to the candy floss grapes. People think you're some kind of fruit molester. See, correct, Joe. He was. See, I listen. I pay attention.
You do listen, yeah.
Not to you.
Not to me, Nate.
Scrivo says more Joe all the time. Joe time.
Joe time.
Yeah.
Joe time. We've never had Joe time for ages.
I really went off Zotan. What have you done?
Can you just press yes, please?
Yes, it's me. It's not me though.
Thank you. I can't if I'm not watching from the actual channel account on here, I can't then switch it to monetization only on the filter.
Yeah.
So now I can chat filter, fan funding, and we can work out how many gifteds we've got. 5, 6, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 21. 21.
Why is your one all sexy black? Have you got it in night mode?
Yeah.
Oh, I have my phone in night mode.
Yeah.
Tis the best.
Now I'll go back to all chat. We're not on 21 minutes.
But 21 seconds ago.
All messages. Cool. Keep going, chat. You're allowed.
Sitworks says that surely Farmer George buys all his stuff from
Farmers
the
Market.
farmer's market.
LOL!
There's a great farmer's shop called The Other One near me, I think. It's great.
The mould lines on this are pretty horrific, actually.
Thank you, Kazari says, women in my hobby, they'll make them custodes next. The great thing about female custodes and female space marines is they look identical to male space marines and male custodes.
Right?
So why does it matter?
It does exactly.
Yeah. You know, the only time what's on the inside that counts, right, is kit cars.
Kit cars?
Yeah. I've had a couple of friends that have gone to buy a car in like they went to buy like an MR2 or something. No, they went to buy a Porsche, right? And then when they got it home, because they didn't test drive it because they're an idiot, got delivered and the guy left, right? He discovered that it was just an MR2 with a kit car on it, with a kit chassis on it.
If everyone at home now can go and get a bottle of whiskey out, and every time Joe, mid-sentence, uses the word right, take a shot. You'd be fucking shit-faced before the end of the day.
It's better than going, do you want erms?
I want neither, ideally, Joe. I want professional.
I'm not professional. Why do you want professional?
I don't really want professional from you, because then people would think it's not you.
Yeah, they'll think I was a robot.
A robot.
From Does Futures.
Ooh, this cape's nice.
Yeah.
I don't really want to glue it on now.
My
though.
children say that when I walk around the house.
What, that cape's nice?
Yeah. I often walk around the house in a cape.
But nothing else?
No, because there's children in the house, Liam.
But yeah, but I know what you're like.
Yeah.
That's why you're not allowed near school.
We're a naturist house.
Yeah, we're on 21 members, chat. Can we get to halfway, you wonderful people?
I like the heavy bolter from this. But the Games Workshop has one really annoying thing where you have to build the heavy bolter first and then glue it to the body. Because you have to make it all line up. Because if it doesn't line up, it's going to be an absolute mare.
Yeah. Yeah!
I love heavy bolters.
I like a good heavy bolter. I like the good humble bolt gun as well.
Why is there two different heavy bolter? When these guys came out, was there two variants on the heavy bolter?
Yes.
What was?
You used to have 2 or 3 variants on the bolt gun and then 2 variants on the heavy bolter.
Yeah, because there's 1, 2, 3 different front ends for the heavy bolter.
Yeah. Because you know how like intercessors used to have stalker pattern bolt guns, and assault bolt guns?
Yeah.
Which now exist in Space Marine 2.
You've got, because there's different variants on the heavy bolter, isn't the heavy bolt gun? It's weird.
So in the old Space Marine Codex, Mr. the Joe,
Yeah. You used to have the assault, heavy, and rapid fire options.
you used to have heavy intercessor squads. You could take a executor bolt rifle, a heavy bolt rifle, or a Hellstorm bolt rifle.
Oh, yeah.
The Hellstorm bolt rifle was 30-inch assault 3, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. The heavy bolt rifle was 36 inches rapid fire 1, strength 5, minus 1, 1 damage. And the executor bolt rifle was 42 inches heavy 1, strength 5, minus 2, 2 damage, right? Ooh. And then you had the bolter, you had the Hellstorm heavy bolter, the heavy bolter, or the executor heavy bolter. The Hellstorm heavy bolter was 30 inches heavy 4, strength 5, no AP, 2 damage. The standard heavy bolter we know, and the executor heavy bolter was 42 inches heavy 2, strength 5, minus 2, flat 3 damage. Ooh. Back when Space Marines had a little bit more flavour. So
but that's why everyone was running Imperial Fist there, wasn't it? Because if you had heavy,
you could still move and shoot with no penalty.
Yeah, that's good. That was a great time. I played Imperial Fist for a while.
Yeah, that was from 9th edition.
Oh no, it wasn't no, it wasn't Imperial Fists. It was Imperial Fist ignored cover. It was Iron Hands, wasn't it? That got the reroll 1s.
Yeah. Did you glue the cape on for the little like hip pad?
I don't know.
As you do.
Feels like so long ago.
I'd like to know.
Just a normal man.
Just innocent men.
Right, I just saw Thomas put that. Thank you, Gary P. Devil's Advocate, tourists has to be carefully managed. Look at what happened to Games Workshop after Lord of the Rings films ended. Games Workshop were caught flat-footed for ages.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Or were they caught flat-footed? Did you glue this on? I feel like I want to glue it on.
Glue it on then.
Because I feel like I just don't bother painting up in there. Really.
I don't know if I even put his cape on at all. I don't know if I can't remember.
You didn't put a cape on the captain?
I have to go look at the model.
There's holes in the back. Is he out there?
Probably.
Is he flesh tearers?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. This is the problem. This is the problem, chat. Right, out of the two of us, Joe is 100% the hobbyist, so I have to ask him all the time how he does things, so I can make my life slightly easier.
And I don't even know what I do most of the time. That would be insanity. Where does random cable go to? It doesn't make any actual sense. Like, what's that attached to? It's supposed to attach to the backpack?
What's that? The cape?
No, the heavy bolt has got 2 random cables that just shoot off into nothingness.
Do you want to keep going through these donos as well? Because we've still got quite a lot to get through, I think.
Yeah, Gary P, give me more information on Lord of the Rings.
Please.
Please. Because I do not understand of what you speak.
John McCardle, thank you so much for 20 gifted memberships, man.
Thank you, John. Keeping the lights on.
Fuck it, absolutely. At the moment, yes, absolutely keeping the lights on.
When's John back with us?
Although yesterday, Mr. Demogorgon gifted 50, mate.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's also keeping the lights on.
Kev's a fucking legend. John's a legend. Anyone who gifts anything, even if it's one, is a legend.
I can't. I don't know if he's still here or not. Demogorgon, for the record, I am a big advocate for new people discovering our passion. Playing devil's advocate, is there a danger Games Workshop may tone down the 40k universe to make it more palatable to the mainstream?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yes and no. Okay? Because
I don't think you have him in here.
is it? He might be in one of the other boxes. I've got 3 boxes of Flesh Terrors, Liam.
Oh, I've only ever got one out.
So they have toned down some aspects of things, and they've kind of swept some things under the carpet, right? So there used to be like the Demoncubula, or whatever it was, basically where the Iron Warriors had basically force impregnated a bunch of women, put demons inside them, so they could just then birth fully formed Space Marines forever. They don't exist anymore, and a lot of the cock swords have gone away from the it's almost like Sinesh, like the Emperor's Children. A lot of penises, not so much there anymore. You know, a lot of like the real kind of non-PC, like 80s pub culture has kind of disappeared a bit, but it's still grimdark. It's still like the good guys are not the good guys. I didn't do it, do I?
You didn't put the cape on, you fucking heretic. There's just holes in his armour.
Yeah, but the jump pack would set fire to it. We were talking about this on the stream the other day, right? Who designed non-flammable, non-meltable fabrics for Space Marines?
I feel like I want to drill on my barrels as well.
Why? Peachy doesn't.
No, I know he doesn't. I'm not, but I don't think everyone should. I'm just saying I think I want to.
Well, don't. I don't think you should. I think you'll look like a fool of a toque. Do you reckon Heavy Bolted Man should have a fancy shoulder pad?
You used the sword as well.
What?
You used the sword as well. I'm putting the power fist on because I'm cooler.
Baby, 'cause I'm cool. Right.
I don't even know. I'm not even really thinking about rules too much at the moment though, because I'm not even thinking about an army. I'm just thinking about building Space Marines because they're cool.
Well, they are cool. Well, this guy was big heavy bolted. That was me.
How nice is that kit, by the way?
Oh, it's stunning.
It's beautiful, isn't it? I think a lot of people overlook the Heavy Intercessor kit, but I think it's gorgeous.
People overlook Heavy Intercessors, I think, because what's weird, right? Heavy Intercessors have got really good rules, but stuff is cheaper to put on the table within Space Marine, so they kind of get overlooked because they're less efficient.
Yeah.
But they're great objective. They're a great objective holding battle line unit. Heavy Intercessors, because if you shoot them with a damage 1 weapon, they get +1 to their save. Right. So right. So if they're in cover,
You sound like the fucking seagull of Nemo.
yeah,
Mine!
so if they're in cover, they get They don't get +1 to their save. So they ignore. So they go to a 2-up save, but then if it's -1, the AP, they still get a 2-up save because they're in cover.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? All right.
Right. At this point, I think you did it on purpose.
I feel like it. It's like a weird twitch.
Is that a jump pack captain? Just put hand flamer on his fist of mine. Yes, it's a jump pack captain. I'm going
Heavy bolter, man.
plasma pistol. I just love a plasma pistol in the game. I'm going plasma pistol and power fist.
I can't wait to play with this Salamander's army.
I'm getting the urge to make a Space Marine army, and I kind of want to make an Ultramarines one.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, we know now that Brom's favourite is now Orcs and not Space Marines anymore, so you know.
That's half this guy's leg.
There's an opening there for someone. And do you know what the other thing, right? Here's the other thing, is it becomes the only time with Space Marines that you can do an action and be narrative. Because you can be like, these Ultramarines are going over there and doing some admin.
Yeah.
These ones are going over there, they're going to do some bookkeeping.
Yeah. They're going to work on their theoreticals.
Yeah. So instead of doing like deploy teleport over here, they're practicing theoreticals. There you go, done. Some points on the board.
Yeah. I find that Ultramarines are a bit like.
Don't say it.
No, because sometimes they're really cool. So Ultramarines to me have had one of the best. Right, next to Def Company, right? Ultramarines had to me one of my favourite Space Marine units ever, right?
Like, I'm waiting.
And they only did 4 models for them, and it really pissed me off.
What was that, mate?
Tyrannic War Veterans.
Oh.
They had 4 models and a Dreadnought and a Chaplain.
Yeah.
And it was great. I've always wanted to do an entire army of Tyrannic War Veterans. Just full conversion central. I'd have to spend like a week with Anfaria so he can teach me how to green stuff.
I kind of don't want to stick anything else together at this point.
And then once I've built it, I'd give it to a good painter.
You, Joe, are a good painter.
I know, but like a really good painter. Someone who would like paint it and I would literally just Spider-Man all over it. And it'd be great.
Well, maybe I could glue that on. That might not. I'm getting the urge to want. I messaged James from Siege the other day.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm getting the urge to want to really try hard at painting. And he was like, in-person lessons or online? I was like, oh.
Oh. You're going to come here? Or we got to go to his fancy
I
office?
feel like I might glue that arm on. The problem I have with this, if I glue the plasma pistol on, it gets very much in the way of that gun casing.
Stick Monkey, why am I about to cut off your funding from the channel? Does he not like Ultramarines?
He loves Ultramarines, they're his favourite.
Yeah.
Why?
Aaron did his Tyrannic War Veterans, I'm guessing. Stick Monkey, do you like Tyrannic War Veterans? Don't get it. Please give us money.
How did you fucking... Yeah,
I need my fancy lunches.
What the fuck? Did you leave this arm off to paint it?
What?
The plasma pistol?
No.
How the fuck did you get in there then?
With a paintbrush? It's annoying when people do it to you, isn't it? It's because I'm a wizard, Harry.
Barry.
I spent my formative years locked in a stable.
Did you?
There was nothing more annoying as someone who worked with horses when you go into the stable and the little kick bar would go punk and lock you in. So annoying. Horse people problems. Also, horse bites really hurt. There's a great... So when I was a kid, right, I used to go to Pony Club.
Of course you did, Joe.
Yeah, a pony called Peanut. And there was one time where I walked up and saw this horse in the stables, and he bit the toggle on my coat, and then it pulled it, and then obviously it snapped back and hit me in the face, and left me with a big red mark on my face. And then I was like, oh, stroke it because I'm a stupid child. And what it did, right, is it bit me on the side here, and I was about 7 or 8 at the time. And it literally picked me up and like shook me about. I must have had mints in my pocket.
Gary says, this is the super chat from earlier, so the Lord of the Rings films finished, the player base shrank hugely. Games Workshop had 4 years of layoffs as they had made financial decisions based on the stable income. Basically, the bubble burst as the tourists, quote unquote, were counted as hobbyists and they weren't. That's interesting.
But it's doing all right now.
Yeah, but I get what he's saying. So let's say Space Marine 2 and Amazon erupts 40k for 4 years and Games Workshop make a ton of financial investment based on the fact that it's erupted.
Yeah.
And then it dies off because the series stops and the game's old. There's a risk there that they then...
But I think that they're smart enough to keep going. Because Lord of the Rings was based on three films originally.
Well, that is a distinct difference between the Lord of the Rings franchise and Space Marine, for example, or 40k in general, is the Lord of the Rings franchise is owned by the Tolkien estate.
Yeah.
And essentially we knew there is 3 books plus The Hobbit, right? Whereas, so now we're seeing some more stuff with Rings of Power.
Yeah.
I'm actually starting to enjoy that, dare I say, but...
I've heard some controversial things about it.
Yeah.
I heard that it started off strong and then... basically, because I've not watched it, because I was like, because I don't get a vast amount of time to watch television. I do, but I don't choose it to watch new programs. I like to watch things I've already watched or play computer games. So a lot of the things I base on whether it has good reviews or not. Sometimes I'm like, I'll fly in the face of the reviews and watch it anyway. But normally it's like, if I'm going to watch something, because it's like a new series, something I've already seen. And when it comes to Rings of Power, that thing got slated so hard, I'm like, am I wasting my time watching it? And then I heard the reviews for the first episode of the new one. I was like, oh, this sounds sounding all right. Maybe it's worth going through the first series to appreciate how good the new series is. And now the shit reviews for the new episodes coming out. And I'm like, oh.
So I heard all the shit reviews for the first series.
Yeah.
I started to watch it and was like, it's not the best. And then what I've done recently is I've forced myself through it, most of it, if not all of it. And actually, it got okay. I wouldn't go as far as to say it got good or exceptional, but it got okay. It wasn't the worst.
It's one of those ones. I think if you go into it knowing it's not going to be Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Right. I think if you have yourself in the mindset to be like, if you expect disappointment, then like you're not going to be disappointed, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I always tell the wife.
Yeah. 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 It looks small because it is small.
Yeah. If you expect 3 seconds and I make 6,
yeah,
you've got double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if I make it from the bathroom to the bed, you're a lucky duck. Right. You're lucky that my filter is like very situational, but not terrible. I think Rings. So I think Games Workshop, if Space Marine 2 goes on for as well as it is, like the roadmaps, like someone was working out the roadmap for Space Marine 2 is only 6 months or something like that.
So far.
They've
committed to 6 months on release.
Yeah, and
I would imagine what they haven't told people, because this is pretty typical, is we'll see how it does.
Yeah, and it's done so well, they're bringing some of those things forward.
Which means they've probably given the green light to extra roadmap.
Yeah, so what that means is that they're probably now in talks about Space Marine 3. Or how do we make Space Marine 2 even bigger? How do we just add on to it like a Minecraft situation?
Well, I feel like they could really just expand the multiplayer and add in more
they could just
operations.
expand this game without actually releasing a new game.
Oh my God, 40k Medic's back.
40k Medic! Thank you for 250 memberships!
You fucking legend. How you doing, dude?
Yeah.
How's America Land treating you?
Yeah.
How's Zenna? What a fucking legend.
Yeah.
You and John have tripled our memberships in the space of like 20 minutes. Thank you so much, dude.
Thank you, 4K Medic. I hope...
Actual medic, by the way.
I know. I hope your next call out is to a house full of domesticated rabbits.
All right.
And the person's fine, just a cough or something. It's a bit of an over-exaggeration. I have an actual medical problem.
Of all the things you could have picked right then.
I know, right? Yeah, but I never called an ambulance for it. So I hope the person like me doesn't need, but like.
But so then they've wasted ambulance time.
I know, but he gets to spend like an hour, maybe having a cup of tea, surrounded by floppy rabbits. There's like the big furry ones, and then the short-haired ones, and like the long streamlined ones.
I can safely say that
ears.
Most people want to live in Joe's world.
I used to have a house rabbit.
I'm sure you did, yeah.
His name was Roger, but not.
Was he?
Yeah, but he wasn't named after Roger Rabbit, which
nice.
He was named after Roger the Alien from American Dad.
Joe, I want to live in your head for a day sometime.
But we had to get rid of him because he kept on. He just destroyed the fucking house. He kept on chewing through all the cables.
When you start talking, I often just picture the sketch of Homer and the thought bubble above his head, and the monkey with two cymbals just smashing them against each other the whole time.
Oh. Homer's had a lot of jobs as well, actually.
Homer has?
Yeah, I've never been an astronaut, though. Whereas Homer
has. But you've often been a fucking space cadet.
Thank you, Plague of Shadows, for 20 gifted memberships.
It's the season of 20 gifted, chat.
Yeah.
If you want to be a cool kid and get a wish like this, 20 gifted. It's the only price.
I hope that... Fuck is going on with this leg? I hope that you... Next time you go and meet your parents, they take you to...
Plague of Shadow is also a paramedic, by the way.
Also a paramedic?
Or was, at least, anyway.
I hope next time you see your family, they take you to an alpaca farm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're useful
With
for... they're useful for when you go on holiday.
Because they pack your clothes for you?
Yeah. Because you don't have to fucking... They're quite proactive, Joe.
Yeah. They are. Spit a lot, though.
Yeah,
You're not allowed to wear
you
sunglasses.
say to them, we're going to go on holiday, and they instantly like, cool, I'll pack up my bags.
Disappointed in you.
Thank you. This is the season for 20 gifteds. Legends. I passed us an 81 chat. Look at that. A bunch of legends. Bunch of legends. Never been to an alpaca farm. There you go. He's happy with it.
Oh, good. I went to one on the Isle of Wight.
Ryan, are you still medic, or did you? Because I know you were like fire department training or something. I mean, that's quite literally out of the fire.
Isn't it America? Actually, explain. In America,
land.
Like, aren't firemen also your ambulance crew?
I don't know.
Like, is that a thing? I was watching a Ryan Reynolds film the other day. Right?
Deadpool.
No.
Deadpool 2.
Just Friends, which is a great film, by the way. And basically, one of the characters is an EMT, but he's also, they refer to him as a fireman. He's a fireman, but he also drives an ambulance.
Well, they're like private contracted, though, aren't they?
I don't know.
It's not like, there's no NHS, is there? So it's all private contracted. So, like,
Well, you imagine being a fireman and an ambulance driver in the UK. Apparently drop a job, that is, isn't it? You know?
I don't know. Some of the paramedics I've seen are...
Yeah.
They waddle out of the ambulance.
Yeah, so it's combined department. I'm a firefighter and paramedic and do both jobs.
Jesus Christ.
I mostly choose the ambulance because I like that more. Are you surrounded by...
Clunge.
Emergency medical technicians, EMTs? Okay. You'll be trained in both.
Do you often dive out of your vehicle with Bonnie Tyler, I'm a Hero playing across the radio?
Are you often topless holding kittens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whilst holding the hose, or your other hand holding the hose over your own head?
Yeah. Is the hose gripped in your penis? Like that, wrapped around. Holding two kittens and putting out a fire.
Yeah. It's behind you.
Yeah.
Whilst posing for a calendar.
Yeah.
Are you
That'd be a great job.
Are you in a sexy calendar?
Yeah.
I work for a hospital system, so we are all EMTs, paramedics.
Have you got a pole? You got a fireman's pole, either of you? Do you get to slide down a thing?
I don't know if they have them in the US, do they? Because we have to build up. They don't have to. They've got a lot of land.
But they're having Ghostbusters.
I think that's real, Joe. For Ghostbusters to be real, you need ghosts, and they're not real.
I just know.
I do.
My
science.
My partner's a maniac because she watches the best TV program ever, and I watch it and I hate them. It fuels me because of how fake it is, but people watch it.
Is it like
it's
something hunters?
No, yeah, it's like Ghost Hunters
Oh my
or
God.
whatever it is, and they all dress like a 2005 emo rock band, all black, all baggy trousers, black beanies, black glasses.
I bought a new black beanie today.
Right, and they've got these like weird homemade devices for catching and finding ghosts. So I'm like, what is this shit?
I bought a douche beanie so I could keep up with you.
Yeah, good.
It's less douchey though. It doesn't have that big hang off the back thing.
A slouchy one.
Yeah, it's not a slouchy one.
Yeah.
So, because I think if you have a slouchy one, you then have to have a vape.
I don't have a vape.
No, your lungs can't take fucking oxygen. There's no way it's taking a vape, is it?
Yeah. I quit smoking from having original COVID, and it was probably the best decision ever. I'd say I'd save loads of money, but I'm poor, so I wouldn't be able to smoke it.
I mean, you have saved money. You've just put it somewhere else.
Yeah. What are they talking about?
How great I am as an employer.
No, I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
I
ever a conversation that's ever come up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's just implied, Liam.
Thanks, mate.
See what I did there? Turn around on you.
Yeah. We are like 18 off, I think, of the target, Jay.
I don't know. We've got super chats to do. Though. Look, we've got loads of super chats.
Yeah, like 18 off target chat. We've got some more super chats to get through, so expect another half an hour of content from us. I've then got to work out what I'm playing tonight, World Eaters or Ultramarines, because we're thinking of Ultramarines Tyranids for the Space Marine 2 vibes, but yeah, I haven't played Ultramarines in 10th, I don't think. I played them in 9th edition when I taught Brom how to use them.
Thank you, Kaz. He says, people do unpopular Space Marines all the time. Remember all the folk who have always loved Iron Hands. Shut up. They love Ferrus Manus. How dare you? Ferrus Manus is so boring.
Is he? I've never listened to anything or read anything with him in it, so I can't comment.
So the only book there's only a couple books I've actually had which have Iron Hand in them, right? And there was the Fulgrim book where they're all super boring, right? But then in the books,
Because in principle, the Iron Hands, in principle, sounds like a cool chapter to me. Like, people that, Space Marines that are already incredible, who then want to enhance themselves with augmetics and machines. It's like a cross between Space Marines and the AdMech. That sounds really cool. And then everyone I've ever spoken to is like, Iron Hands are boring. I'm like, is it from that time when they were super strong and everyone took them? Or are they actually boring from a lore perspective?
I think from a lore perspective, because they're all like, because obviously Ferrus Manus is dead, right? And they don't, it's been more
He was beheaded by Fulgrim, right?
Yeah, it's been more than 10,000 years and they don't let you forget it. Jesus.
Because he got his head chopped off by Fulgrim.
Yeah. Right.
I'm actually
But the story between Fulgrim and Ferrus Manus was cool, right? Right. So
Fucking stop it, Joe.
basically, Ferrus Manus and Fulgrim became friends because they both forged weapons. Ferrus Manus made a really nice sword and he gave it to
Oh my
Fulgrim. And
God.
Fulgrim made a hammer and gave it to Ferrus Manus.
You see?
Yeah.
40k minutes gifted 20 more members.
Day drinking. He's got a day off, hasn't he? He's been on the cleaning alcohol.
Thank you so much. That's 40,
Thank you.
Joe, in one stream.
Big dick.
What a fucking legend. Thank you so much.
I hope.
Mr. the 40k medic.
Next time
Unbelievable.
next time you go to McDonald's in your ambulance, they just give you free food because they're just grateful for the work you do to the community.
I had someone pay for my McDonald's once
Yeah,
because I was in my uniform.
yeah.
I was on the drive home from camp for a weekend. I stopped at McDonald's. I was in the queue because you never used to have the touchscreen order points at that point.
Yeah.
And as I walked up and ordered, and she said, that'd be such and such, a man stopped me. He said, he was like an old guy as well. He was like, I'll pay for this for you. I was like, no, you can't do that.
Oh.
It was very, very nice. Very, very humbling moment.
You're not humble.
I beg your pardon. Joe, I'm actually thinking about basically painting it like this.
In a million pieces.
Yeah.
Why?
Because...
It's all going to be blue anyway.
Well, I don't know what colour it's going to be yet.
It's going to be blue. Dabba-dee dabba-die.
Are you saying you want me to make an Ultramarines army?
Yeah, I think you should.
Really?
I think you should. Thanks.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised by that.
Oh, I wanted to do them, but I've got loads of other things to do. So you can do them. We've got to do the white trim.
Gold trim.
What's the second company? No, gold's first.
Stick Monkey, help me. What's white trim?
White trim is first
company?
It's first company, and white trim, white helmets, they're first company in the Tyrant War Veterans.
I'm kind of into
Gold
that.
trim is second company,
I'm kind of into...
which is Kato Sicarius' lot. Kato Sicarius! He rides a camel.
Titus is second company then. Because he's gold trim, isn't he? So I kind of want to do second company then.
Oh, fast food in America is bad. I hope next time you have... What's that Mexican place in America? They're also coming to the UK as well. Taco Bell,
Oh, God, no.
you don't get horrendous shits. Apparently that's what happens. Never had Taco Bell.
You've never had Taco Bell?
No.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
You lucky duck.
I feel like I had a chimichangas from Chiquitos in Trowbridge. That was lovely. Stephen Box bought that for me.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Yeah. It was desperate for staff, I imagine. So, thank you, Prentice. There are people that need to be kept out of the hobby, and they are the ones that are doing the gatekeeping. Some go as far as to harass people trying to enjoy their hobby. Get in the bin.
Get in the bin.
They are the worst people, right?
Who are?
People that
Mexicans.
people that go around telling people that go around telling people that they're having fun wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
Playing the game wrong.
Yeah, I will never tell someone that they've done something wrong. I'll tell them they are wrong in the head for some of the things they've done, but I would never tell them that they've done it wrong. I never tell someone that you're having fun in the wrong capacity. You enjoy the hobby like how you enjoy your hobby.
Taco Bell isn't Mexican food. Preach.
What is it?
I mean, it is supposed to be Mexican food, but it's not Mexican
Yeah.
food. It's not Mexican food, Joe, at all.
Yeah, those are the worst people, and they're the ones that we don't want around.
Yeah.
Not the Mexicans, but people.
Yeah, careful there, mate.
Yeah, the people that gatekeep, because they're just the worst.
I don't want to lose access to this pistol pouch, so I feel like I have to leave that arm off. I think I could probably get away with putting the power fist on. Maybe.
I'm going to give these ones the assault heavy bolters, because that's the one I use in the game.
I feel like I could get away with putting the power fist on. Because it's going to limit some access.
Like a mini heavy bolter then. I love Warhammer and I love Space Marines.
Fucking love
They're just
Warhammer.
great. And everyone that does this game is my friend. Unless you're a weirdo.
And even then.
You're still kind of my friend. I'll be polite to you. I won't tell you to leave. As long as your hobby isn't hurting anyone. Who said that? I read that very quickly and then Taco Bell is just slurry. Yeah, Pridders, as long as you aren't hurting anyone, have fun however you want, you know? Unless you're doing a My Little Pony themed army. Or play Tau. You know? Why are you licking the glue?
I'm not licking the glue.
Oh, it's the lid in your mouth. It looked like you went onto the glue. Tasty glue. It's like that episode when they discovered that he's been drinking paint in Always Sunny. Great episode. Whoop. Thank you, Stick Monkey. He says, don't talk Lady Custode. You'll trigger Carl of Hodge and his muscle mummy thing again. I don't blame him. It's great. It's
Muscle
a whole
mummies-
new part of Instagram I've discovered.
Muscle mummies is not a thing that's ever really appealed to me.
No?
No.
No, 'cause you don't want like a 6 foot tall, muscly woman to pick you up and
So
carry
for
you
clarity,
around.
I'm not suggesting there's anything wrong with them.
Yeah.
Because attraction is personal and subjective.
Yeah.
But anyone who looks like they can suplex me
Yeah.
concerns me.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of my small man syndrome. I don't like that concept.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a big fan of gladiators.
So that's my bits. I'm thinking about gluing this on, but that does that goes in there like that, whoop, and then you lose some access back there for some.
Yeah. You don't want access to the back door, do you? You need to get in the back there. Or they're gluing the cape, painting the cape separately, because if you're going to do ultramarines, you're probably going to do like a red and white, or
Red and cream, innit? If you do
Yeah.
ultramarines. If I do ultramarines.
yeah. You should
Not
do
ultramarines.
You should do minotaurs.
Oh God, no. I don't like metallic.
I used to have minotaurs. I mean, never mind.
I don't like.
That was the first skin I unlocked in Space Marine 2. Was
I
minotaurs.
started painting my custom Space Marine chapter ages ago,
Yeah.
which actually, to be honest with you, I can probably give you to repaint if you want to.
Yarp.
There's 5 heavy intercessors,
Yeah.
3 aggressors,
And a Podge in the Petri.
and a captain, all built and fully painted, by the way.
Yeah.
It's the most I've built and painted for a single faction in the last 5 years.
Yeah. Because you did it before. You did it before I joined. Oh, no, you did it when I joined. Because
They're all on the same March of War bases.
Ooh.
So I can probably dig them out my drawer and you can probably have them all. Now, I started painting them a custom Space Marine chapter and I went for a silver, like Grey Knights.
Yeah.
But I did all the robes and one shoulder pad and one arm red.
Yeah.
And I liked it. It was really cool. I've got some pictures to show you later. But after a while, the silver, I just don't love doing lots of metallics. They can be quite temperamental to work with sometimes.
I find that this is weird because I'm not a big fan of Grey Knights. I don't like light silver is really difficult to paint and make good. Dark silver is fine, and like that's why I like minotaurs because it's like bronzies, browns, like dark hues.
I just feel like I like anything I do. I like to be able to base color with like the first color with an airbrush, typically, right? And I find that metallics can be quite temperamental for that. Here you go. That was the scheme I did.
Yeah, I think I've seen them.
He's quite well painted. Do you like how well done even his eyes were? Look.
Oh wow.
Because that was done off and built separately. So you can have him.
Yeah.
And I also did... Oh, not that twat. Get him off the fucking screen. I also did... oh, God, that twat again. Oh, that fucking bigger twat. The funny thing is, people don't know who
It's
I'm
just
talking
pictures of his own head.
It is a little bit. Oh, that was my blending it. They can't see this. Look at that. I did that.
Yeah.
By myself.
All by myself.
I can paint little bits on my own, Joe.
I've got an excuse to use the apothecary now as well.
The apothecary.
The biologist, because he's in the fancy armour, isn't he?
Yeah.
The chunky armour.
Chunky armour.
I don't know what he does though.
Not a lot, probably. Wasn't the biologist quite a popular choice for a while?
People was always putting him in the thing, weren't they? Look at us both on our phones.
See, I did an aggressor. Look at that. There's the start of an aggressor.
Yeah. Hang on. Apothecary biologist. He's 55 points.
That's cheap as
That
chips,
means it's
isn't
got to
it?
be garbage. Then.
This is dog shit. No one's taking
It's got
it,
an
Joe.
Absolver bolt pistol, which is a strength 5 -1 damage 2 pistol. with
You know,
one
heavy
shot.
intercessors you can have. Look at that. Look at that colour scheme. It's quite cool, actually.
Sorry. You did a lovely job.
Thank you. Do you want them?
Yeah, why not? Right, abilities, because his gun and close combat weapon are both garbage. Surgical precision. Whilst this model is leading a unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit have the lethal hits.
He's lieutenant.
He's lieutenant.
Right.
Pretty good. Vivi Spectrum.
Yeah.
Vivisectum. Spectrum.
Yeah.
Isn't that what the girls get when they get the piercing?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
If this model's unit destroys an enemy unit as the result of a melee attack, until the end of the battle, this model has objective control characteristic 9.
Not horrific, though, if you put him with Power Fist aggressors.
So he can join Heavy Intercessor Squad, Eradicator Squad, Aggressor Squad. So either of those two.
So anything Gravis.
Even Gravis. You can attach this model to one of the above units, even if one captain or chapter master model has already been attached to it. If you do, and that bodyguard, but yeah, so basically he can join a unit that's already got a captain in it.
So he can join an aggressor squad with Calgar in it.
Yeah, and give him lethal hits. Yeah, he was good with Calgar because he gave the aggressor squad and Calgar access to command enhancements as well. I suppose, yeah, you could put enhancements on him.
But does he give like any kind of feel no pain, like an apothecary, or bring models back?
No.
Oh. So he's an apothecary that doesn't do any apothecary stuff?
Yeah.
So he's a medic that doesn't do any medical.
Basically, Games Workshop fucked up apothecaries in the new book, big time.
I was looking at apothecaries in general, and I was like, oh, they bring a model back, that's cool. Where's the feel no pain? Nope.
Yeah, you only get good apothecaries as Blood Angels.
Facts.
Everyone else gets bad apothecaries.
Straight facts.
Bad.
We need to get through some more of these, Joe. I just realised.
I know, but I'm nearly finished this guy, and then I've got one more to do, and then I've done a whole squad. I feel like I've achieved something today.
Well, you can still carry on building after the stream.
Yes, but I need Terminators for the weekend. Thank you. Oh, I've done that one. Oop. Thank you, Ginger Steve. Haven't seen you for a while, Steve.
Oh, the gingerest of Steves.
Yeah. The problem with Joe in a dressing gown is that...
oh, back on that, okay.
Is that the whole world can see his willy except him. This is a time when people don't want the purple.
Steve, you child. Apparently, so I can see people say...
There's these vicious rumours going around that I can't see in my own penis.
He's really good in Gladius with bolt aggressors and Calgar. That's because there's an enhancement you can give him that gives the unit sustained hits too, I think.
Yes.
Is it sustained hits too?
Why is it bolter aggressors can have a grenade launcher on their back, but flamers can't? Because it's part of the kit. You can glue them on.
So if we go to Gladius and we go to enhancements, I think it's the fire discipline one. Oh, it's sustained hits 1. Well, the bearers leading a unit, range weapons equipped by models have the sustained hit 1 ability. In addition, while the bearers unit is under the effects of Devastated Doctrine, each time model in that unit makes a range attack and a successful unmodified hit roll of 5+ scores.
You give them the one which gives them all +1 attack.
If you give him that one, if you give them fire discipline to the biologists and put them in the aggressors, right, and Calgar, obviously, you can advance, you can shoot, and you lethals and sustained on 5+s. It's quite a lot.
And you can make that unit always be in Devastated.
For a CP, yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a stratagem, if I remember rightly, Storm of Fire, where you get ignores cover as well. And if you're in the Devastated Doctrine, you improve the AP by 1. So you put those bolters on the aggressors at AP 1 in Dev Doctrine with sustained and lethals on 5+s. That's pretty tasty, isn't it?
Well, the aggressors,
Who's known as
if they're targeting the closest unit, get +1 to their AP anyway.
He was commonly known as the harm assist. That's a fucking great name. I now want one just so I can call him the harm assist.
Wow.
For 1 CP, which Calgar gives you, if I remember correctly, he does give you 1 CP.
Yeah.
He does. He does. Calgar's a fucking baller.
Yeah.
I want to know if it's possible.
I want to know.
I want to know if it's possible to convert Calgar, because I don't like his dumb pose. And what I want to do, this would involve me buying more Ultramarines, to be fair. Let's go to Game Work Shop. You all right there, mate? Allow. Boop, boop.
You could
40K.
use Tor Garradin.
Space Marines. Ultramarines. Where's washing machines live longer with Calgar? There he is. Oh. I don't like... So
his blade champions are
I want him like old fist down pose is what I want.
Yeah.
You
could convert him, use him, it's an expensive conversion, and Tor Garradin. Thank you, Cray. Says, watching the Soulblight Sons of Sons of Bahamut Battle Report now. As I work on my Seraphon Spearhead, the new cameras are incredible. Donation for the great work and the new cameras.
Oh, thank you,
Craig.
mate.
The cameras are an actual game changer.
They are a game changer.
They are
100%.
so good. They're really doing some good work for us in terms of just bringing you some beautiful visuals.
I'm really proud of them, although...
The Gravis Captain Dan says that the Gravis Captain comes with 2 fists.
Yeah, but he doesn't have all the Ultramarines bits, does he? Ultramarines bits. Yeah, the new cameras were a financial sting. They weren't cheap to get them put in. But now they're in and they're working, I think... Okay. Ego moment, because there's no nice way of putting this without sounding a bit ego-y, I guess. I now think that in terms of visuals, that people were saying we were missing a number of things. The main thing we were missing was close-ups of models and close-ups of the table and close-ups of what's going on the tabletop, right? Over the course of the last week and a half, we've now developed a way of showing close-ups of any section of the table in incredible detail, and we can include that close-up with a dice cam overlay as well.
Yeah.
So you can see what's being rolled for as it's being rolled for. And so instead of just seeing 2 people roll a dice, we're looking at the King Brod taking on Laukavai or whatever, right? For example. And I think that that's made a monumental difference. That's the one thing people will say we're missing. I'm even at the moment using them to show off the deployed army for an army close-up in the intro stage, right? It's not quite my perfect army intro. I want to do better army intros, legitimately want to do better army intros, but it's better than what we had before. Yep. So we put up the army list, we then switch to a shot of the army on a close-up, we then go back to the army list, right? It's not perfect, but it's better than we had before. And I'm working on something. I've got a project for Joe to work on as well, but he's incredibly busy to build us a staging area to film the army shots. I now feel like we have the best looking live streamed content on YouTube for Warhammer in general. It's a very egotistical thing to say. If you disagree, feel free to be like, no, Liam, you're shit. I won't be offended. It's opinion.
He will be
based.
offended.
I won't be offended. It's opinion based, right?
Later on, I'll be like, why can I hear a small girl crying? It'll be Liam in the bathroom.
Jesus Christ, Joe, open your boot. So I feel like the cameras were a huge step in the right direction. And I've said this a couple of times already, but I want to put a big shout out there to Mikey, because I saw his cameras on his studio walk around on YouTube. I then went to his event and asked him about it. And he quite openly and happily told me all about them. And then when I went and found the ones that he had, I sent him the link. No, that's a lie. I think he sent me the link. Whichever way around it was. I think I might have found them. Anyway, I think I might have found them, sent him the link. And he was like, yeah, they're the ones. And I was like, cool, but you got 20 times zoom, but this has only got 12 times zoom. And the reason why mine are 12 times zoom and his are 20 times zoom is because his are 1080p and ours are 4K. And I needed 4K because we currently put everything out in 4K, which I think no one else does. No. And 4K is important for model detail, in my opinion. So it's both for me incredible that I think we put out the best, and incredibly frustrating because we just can't seem to grow. And I don't know what I need to do.
Take pills for that.
Little blue ones.
Yeah.
I don't know what I need to do to get more people to come and look at it and be like, Jesus, this is the best looking content on YouTube.
Is it because we swear? Is it because we currently don't do pre-recorded content?
There's a bunch of people that say that they don't watch the streams because of the foul language and they want to sit and watch it with their kids, which I respect.
Yeah.
There's a ton of channels out there that are family friendly. I wanted to go the other direction because there's also a ton of people that say that they actually prefer it because it feels like mates hanging out, playing games, drinking beers, and part of that is because we're quite relaxed with the language and the banter. Yeah. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Would we do more in terms of viewership if we didn't swear at all? Possibly. It's possible. Yeah. If you look at some of the bigger channels out there that are bigger than us, Titans, Tabletop Tactics, etc., typically don't include any kind of foul language at all. Yeah. But I feel like if I was to push the team down the direction of not using that kind of language, we start to not become us anymore. Mm. And it's a little bit more polished and a little bit more, I think the word I'd like to use is clinical. Yeah. And I don't want it to feel clinical, personally.
But when you watch some other channels, like it almost feels like it's all scripted.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Or they're not quite at 100% them.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like I want us to always be 100% us, apart from Brom, who's 80%.
Yeah. Brom needs to...
Otherwise, there's far too many heel clicks going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we end up with 100% more like jackboots.
Yeah. And the only real frustrating thing then comes in hand with, so we've had 220, 250 people watching today, which is amazing. Thank you all. You're amazing. You're incredible. We have hit membership target as well because of 40k Medics extra 20. And Zena's just gifted 10 more, Joe.
Thank you, Zena.
It's the same household mind.
I know. They're just sat there watching two hairy men on the internet.
Naked.
We're not naked.
No, them.
No.
Well, they're married. They're allowed.
Day off in it, I suppose. Yeah.
So what do you want to wish for Zena?
I hope, Zena, I hope you get friendly raccoons that come and visit your house at night and you feed them like cereals and...
Trash pandas.
Yeah. Like friendly ones that like just sit there like...
They don't have rabies.
They don't have rabies, they're not violent. They're just the nice ones that you see on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope you become friends.
That's what collabs are all really about, helping make each other better content producers, simply to make each other better. Love it. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Mikey was in chat last week trying to help us when I had the camera issues as well. That's how good he is.
Yeah.
We take the piss out of him a lot, and he takes the piss out of us a bit. I think we're probably
quite meaner to him.
But I think he's realised recently. He got to a point. I believe he got to a point where he was quite concerned that we actually didn't fucking like him very much anymore. And as I think we've shown recently, I love Mikey to bits, and I think I've settled that now. I was a little bit sad that he thought we didn't like him very much because he's fucking incredible. And the second he got the opportunity to help us, he helped us. And there's a lot of people in the space that do that. There's also a lot of people in the space that are like, no, I don't want to help you. I want you to work it out for yourself.
Yeah.
Which I kind of get. I'm not against it completely, but it's not the way I like to do business. Luz gets a little frustrated because I'll share my secrets with anyone.
Sexy secrets.
And she's like, you're telling everybody how you do everything. I was like, yeah, but they don't have a Joe. Yeah.
Sure, I don't have raccoons in my flat, and I wish I did. I live in a house for a start, but I live in England. We don't have raccoons unless you go to a zoo.
Yeah. I don't have any trash pandas, but we do have a family of groundhogs, and they're super cute.
We had
Herpes.
groundhogs at the local Exmoor Zoo where I used to live, and they escaped, and then they went and lived in the local village and destroyed loads of property. It's great fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, though. Thank you for that big donation. Who was it?
Cray.
Thank you for that big donation, dude, because it was a pink one.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, that.
Thank you, Jacob. Shoots. Says, I love the hobby, but why so hard to finish armies?
Because we're all hobby butterflies, that's why.
Yeah.
We're all hobby magpies. People rip me heavily because I'm one of the worst hobby magpie stroke butterflies out there. Absolutely, without doubt. And I am quite open about it. Part of that is my crazy fucking ADHD brain means that I'll start building something and then I'll get it in my head about something else being cool, and then I'll tumble down the rabbit hole of looking at it and researching it, and before I know it, I've bought some bits. It's made worse by the fact that the business account makes it easier for my brain to legitimise the purchase. So
tax write-off.
Yeah,
right.
so I'm one of the worst. But let's be honest, if most of us are completely honest, we're all to a point hobby butterflies. We all see a new shiny and go, I really want that new shiny, and you buy it. It sits on your shelf in boxes for ages. So it's always hard to finish armies. For that reason alone.
And leggies.
Yeah. Unless you are an absolute build and paint machine like Joe, who gets it done significantly quicker than the rest of us. But as Mr. TJ just said in chat, strictly, no such thing as a finished army.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted to have like 3 of everything in a codex. That's like the dream.
Here's the thing I've always wanted to do, and I've never done it, and I've never achieved it.
Yeah. A fully painted army.
That's a lie, because I haven't.
I know.
The one thing I'd love to do is find out the actual numbers behind a proper Space Marine chapter.
Yeah.
Right? So first company to 10th company? It's 10 companies in a Space Marine chapter, isn't it?
Usually.
And what is included in each company, and then slowly build that.
Well, there's obviously
the
the firstborn equivalent, but I don't know if they probably there is probably somewhere written down what a Primaris company looks like.
Yeah, but I want to know what each of the Primaris companies look like in a full chapter, and I would like to build that and work towards that, but that's a fucking significant number of models.
You could pretend to be Black Templars.
Stick Monkey, you still in chat? Message me. You'll know all about the Codex. You're an Ultramarine fan.
Because Black Templars have infinite numbers. Because they work by the rule of when a Space Marine army is on crusade, it has an unlimited cap on how many Marines it can have. But once it ends its crusade, it must go back down to 1,000. So by dispersing into like another chapter.
Like a sub-chapter.
Into a sub-chapter. So the Black Templars found a loophole. Always be on crusade. So they're always in a state of war all the time. So there could potentially, and no one knows how many Black Templars there are. There could literally be like 10, 20,000 Black Templars. And there's like loads and loads of tiny little crusades with like 30 Space Marines just doing their own thing.
Into it.
And they're all a lore unto themselves. The Black Templar lore is really, really cool. And Black Templars are an army that I've kind of always wanted to do. But now they've got their own models. They're a really, really beautiful army. A lot of robes. And I painted some models for Titans. And I was like, it's a lot of robes.
I like robes.
They're cool. I like Dark Angel robes because you could just paint them red and be done with it.
If you paint Heresy Scheme, yeah.
Yeah.
I like robes and capes.
I like a robe, a bath robe.
Yeah. Right, come on, let's keep going.
Hang on, got to glue this little jibby jobby on here. Jibby jobby. Got little bits of stuff on it.
1,000 Marines in a chapter.
Yeah.
So what you can now deploy in a 2,000-point game.
You can field an entire company, which is 100 Marines.
Can you now?
You can, yes. So, Nick the Salamander. Maybe I should call one of my salamanders Nick. Oh, my tablet's literally just turned off. We'll never know.
Yeah, we will.
The battery died. I'm sorry, Nick.
There you go.
What does it say?
Pandering to religious elites is never good. Female custodians could have been awesome. Now all I think of them is GW gaslighting and calling me sexist. Yeah, that's because of the way they introduced it though, right? This is my point. Like the fact that you've said female custodians could have been awesome is exactly my point. Like all they needed to do was go out to a person like ADB or anyone akin to that and be like, hey, can you write us some cool lore and some cool narrative for this? So we can launch this thing that's new, that we know we're going to get some pushback on. They're not stupid. They knew they were going to get some pushback on that. So you've got two ways of doing it. Sneak it into a codex, say it's always been that way, or put some fucking effort in. And all I wanted was a bit of effort. It's all I cared about. And I would have been happy.
You sound like my missus.
Right, yeah, true. So yeah, I don't disagree with you there. Whitey, thank you for the one gifted as well, you legend. We did it, Joe. We got to the end.
I don't think Games Workshop are calling people sexist, though, are they?
No, Games Workshop aren't calling people sexist, to be fair.
No.
That's the community doing it. But I think a lot of people were like, no, I don't actually care about the fact that they exist. I care about how they were brought into being.
Yeah, I don't think it's sexist to say I don't like how they've been introduced. You know? It's sexist to be like, I don't want female custodians because I hate women, you know? If you went that's probably a bit too far, you know?
But why do you hate them, Joe?
Well, because they just keep talking. I'm joking, all right? No,
Less nagging, more gagging.
This is why we don't get as many followers, all right? When you come out with that shit. No, so no, I think I watched the Tives thing. It was great. I don't have an issue with it. I'm like, this is good. The content that my eyes are seeing is brilliant, and it gave me full like Game of Thrones, Brienne of Tarth kind of action. You know?
Yeah.
You know? Right? You know?
right. You know.
Right. Yeah. So that's his problem. And the thing is, though, I think the problem that comes from this kind of situation, your Disneys, your whatevers, is that people, when something isn't successful because a woman's in it, it isn't that people don't like women, right? Right? Is they hate bad writing. They hate bad.
It's shoehorning.
Yeah. So, because you don't like. We was like, well, no, I love women. I love women. I like aliens. Some of my favourite books. Well, I say a lot of my favourite books in
Playboy doesn't count. It's not a
in
book.
Black Library are female-led things. So it's like, there's a lot of stuff that's come out that's been made really bad that could have been just written better.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love a strong female lead. Like, in essence, the Fallout series had a female lead essentially.
Yeah, it was great,
and she was fucking incredible.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think it's Games Workshop that's called in you sexist for not liking it.
But their response when people said
what's got people's back up is that they've always been there.
Yeah, that's the bit that pissed people off.
Yeah.
That's a form of gaslighting from GW that didn't need to occur. And I hope whoever wrote that response is
probably got in a bit of trouble.
Has been dealt with because like I also am a person who, whether we like this or not, and sometimes I don't like it, I'm also a person who advocates for it's their universe, they decide.
Yeah.
Right? So they can change a narrative angle, and I might not like it, and I might not agree with it, but do you know what? It is their universe. And some people said to me, that's a really bad take, Liam, because we are the people that make them. Yeah, okay, I get it, and I agree with you on that point, but it still is their universe, and I don't have to like it every time, but I can't change it.
I think the people that are coming in here going, you're this, you're that, you're this, they are in essence the gatekeepers within our community.
To a point, yeah.
And sometimes what happens is these people just come in and they're loud and obnoxious, and they're like, here's my really my real clickbaity titled YouTube channel. You're this, and I think that needs to stop.
They're not.
That's not what we want.
The gatekeepers, because there's multiple forms of it, but they are a type of. And if you're a person who says, I don't want female custodians in the law, for someone to turn around to you and say you're sexist, well, they're a piece of shit immediately because they haven't listened to your reason as to why you don't want them.
Yeah.
Right. That being said, a lot of people say I don't want them in the law because, or I don't like the fact that they exist now in the law because they haven't given me a story arc that makes sense. They haven't allowed me. They haven't taken the universe that I love and gone, here's why this thing now exists. Okay. I think that nowadays people turn to the words that end in ist.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I'll tell you what I'll do, is I'll use the word sexist or racist or whatever it might be, because it shuts down the argument. Yeah. Because when someone throws that kind of word at a normal person, people go, oh, fuck, I don't want to be that thing. Because none of us want to be that thing. No. None of us want to be that thing at all. So people now use it as, you don't agree with me, you're an ist.
Yeah.
And that fucking grips me, because no one is open to having an adult conversation as to why a person might think that way.
Because then the person that's gone, I don't like that, they then have to come up with excuses why, and because the ist word has been thrown out, it just makes them look even more of an ist.
Yeah, it does.
Because you have to come up with these weird kind of excuses.
It's a dangerous society that we live in when a person disagrees with another person and just gets categorized as the most extreme version immediately. That's a dangerous society. Because then what happens is people are too afraid to express their opinion for the fear of being labelled with an extreme label.
Yeah.
And so we don't have people expressing their opinions, and we don't have sensible grown-up conversation where realistically, if both parties listen to each other, both can grow.
Yeah.
And there are ists that exist. There are plenty of ists that exist, and those people should be dealt with in the harshest of ways. But that isn't the majority of people.
Yeah.
To be fair, Liam is clearly a Joeist. Mandy, thank you for the $20. Good to see you, Mandy. How you doing? 100% I hate the idea of female Space Marines, and I hate how they added female custodians. At least give a good story as to why. I hate that they removed the Severina Rain and Sister of Silence Get No Love. Also, nice haircut. Thanks. It's just fluffy today.
The Severina Rain was great.
I'm in my barber's tomorrow, getting it nice and tidy.
She was a commissar that was in the Scions.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
And I think so. Like, Games Workshop's coming out with some incredible female, like the Severina Rain, like, kind of, I feel like kicked it off. And then you've got like, the Vampire series.
She was a stunning model, by the way.
Incredible model. You've got the Beckwin novels, which are amazing.
Oh, yes.
Elizabeth Beckwin,
yeah.
Eisenhorn and stuff. Yeah, and then I recently listened to the Talia Vedra book for AOS. Banging book. Great. And it's like, why are some people more than happy for there to just be a bunch of female characters, but then one pops up in a specific place and they're like, no.
Well, so from a Custodies perspective, I get people saying no, because Custodies' narrative was that they were the sons of nobility, weren't they? That were taken and selected. The sons specifically were taken and selected to be Custodies. And so to then have a female custodian, you're like, how's that happened? So I'd have liked some narrative that says, well, actually, they've run out of sons. Custodies, now they've pushed out of the palace, and they're now involved in engagements across the galaxy that aren't just outside Terra, are now suffering heavier casualties, and they're running out of sons of nobility, so they've started taking daughters as well. I've just come up with that off the top of my head, right?
Yeah.
It's probably weak in narrative terms, but it's some narrative. It's more than, they've always been that way.
Yeah.
It gives you some kind of reason as to why this now exists and why this happens. It's the same as if they ever did female Space Marines, which I am against. I don't want female Space Marines, and there's that horrible meme that's like, oh, we're going to get Misters of Battle. Oh.
It's like, the thing is that, like, they had Usurker Creed, who died and was replaced by his daughter.
Which is cool.
No one,
narrative.
No one batted an eyelid.
Exactly.
Right? But at the same time, it's super weird. He's the only person that's aged out.
Yeah.
Because Harker's never aged a day.
Yeah, well, you know.
He's a Catachan.
Catching drugs, isn't it? Just sipping from those.
Just licking all those Catachan frogs, you know? And
But you see, I like that idea. But you see what I'm saying, though? It's a very basic piece of narrative. It's something that's more than, it's always been that way. That's a shitty response from GW, and that should never have existed. So we absolutely can have strong female characters, female leads, female factions. We've got the fucking Adeptus Sororitas, which for me, the Adeptus Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle, are one of the coolest, grimmest, darkest factions in 40k.
Yeah.
Like, they epitomise Warhammer 40k, the Sisters. That's what I say to you when I play them. I'm walking a fucking coffin onto the battle. It's cool as shit.
Yeah.
Absolute zealot, fanatical, crazy fucking church ladies, essentially.
Yeah.
They're amazing. So I don't think the majority of people are against any kind of female influence in the Warhammer 40k universe, or any kind of DEI for that matter. It's just the way in which they bring it in, I think, is the thing that really matters. And then, as some people will say, and to a point rightly so, that when you undo 20 plus years of narrative that you've written, that's been solid and core for 20 plus years, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth to some people.
Yeah.
But there are, however, also, if we remember, there are lots and lots and lots and lots of things that have been retconned. Remembering that the Primarchs didn't exist as Primarchs.
Yeah.
When this game first launched, the Primarchs were not a thing. And Leman Russ existed before the Primarchs were a thing. So the whole Primarchs that you all base a lot of the Space Marine stuff on didn't exist when this thing launched.
Yeah.
They weren't a thing. Remember that. Mandy, thank you for 20 more bucks. As much as I like the Tithes episode, it did not help female Custodies look any better. Her attitude was trash compared to the Custodies in the Arm-Mastered Lady book.
But it's on track with some of the Custodes in Master of Mankind.
Yeah.
There's a Custodes in Master of Mankind. He's also in the Siege of Terror books as well. And he's just an asshole. He is. He hates. There's been all these refugees in the palace, and there's children coming up to him, thinking that they're like he's the emperor, and he basically threatens to kill them.
And then she says, also, Creed isn't dead.
Someone else said that he's in a Pokeball.
He's in one of Trajan's Pokeballs. They showed that on the Warhammer Plus episode.
Really?
Trajan captured him.
Which episode was that? I honestly.
So he hasn't aged out. He's been captured, and she stepped in his shoes. Cool lore.
Yeah, since the Blood Angels series, I haven't watched anything on Warhammer Plus. It came out. I think I watched a couple of the shorts. The last one I saw was the blind Sister of Battle lady who becomes a saint. Great episode. And then I watched nothing, and then everyone was talking about this Tithes thing. And I was like, well, I can't have an opinion on it unless I watch it.
Yeah.
So I watched it, and I was like, it's really good. The relationship between her and the Sister of Silence is really cool as well.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's
the Sister of Silence is badass.
Yeah.
Sisters of Silence are cool.
Sisters of Silence are cool
Massive
shit.
broadswords.
I want more Sisters of Silence and stuff in 40k.
Also, I did appreciate that they didn't give the female custode boob armor.
Yeah.
It's just a small touch. I was like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Pigsy says that their addition is GW signaling that they are willing to toss the universe down the drain for real world politics. I strongly don't agree with that, to be fair, mate. I don't. Which is fine. It's your opinion. I'm open to the conversation. I just don't agree with it. But.
I don't think they're willing to. I think there will be changes to modern things, right? But I think they're going to handle it correctly.
Mostly.
So what happens about when they've always been there, right? That was a lesson for Games Workshop.
Yeah, and they learn.
Because they were like, we done gone fucked up. We handled this wrong.
I'll put it this way. I can't see them ever doing a similar roadmap to the one they just did.
That's never going to happen again. Especially when Space Marine 2 comes out with a great roadmap. I know exactly what's happening for the next 6 months. I'm like, cool. Thanks for the information.
I can't see that happening again.
So, Games Workshop's not going to fuck up again like they did with the announcement of the female custodes. I think it will be handled a lot better going forward. So, episode 9, Artifacts of Hammer and Bolter. Abaddon shows up in 1 and 2. Banging. I think I need to sit down and watch all of the... Because I think enough time has gone by that they've released enough stuff that it's actually Warhammer Plus is viable. I need to get the year subscription. I
appreciate the fact that Dave wrote Warhammer Plus with a pound sign as the E. I appreciate that. That's some effort if you've done that on mobile as well. I appreciate that, Dave.
I think it's worthwhile watching now. I've resubbed for the next year, but I now have to wait an entire year to get the Cities of Sigmar models.
Is that the ones you want?
So I'm like, I've got to upgrade to a year now so I can get those models. But that's the worst thing about this year's Warhammer Plus models, by the way.
They're both great.
They're both stunning.
Yeah, but you can buy the other one.
You can, yes.
So what's your problem? You get 2 models for the price of one. What's your issue?
I want both for free. That's my problem.
So if any one of you out there doesn't know which Warhammer Plus model you want, you actually want either of them, you can send them to Joe for free.
And everyone's got a Thunderhawk lying around.
Put the model in an envelope, fire it, and send it to Joe.
The worst thing about Space Marine 2 is the fact that it makes me want more Space Marine stuff. I've now got a massive chub on. I've always loved Thunderhawks, but now I really want...
Thunderhawks, Joe, there's a TH.
No, because they're fun. They're full of fun. They fly around distributing fun with their fun cannons, all right?
Thunderhawks.
Anyway. Thunderhawk. I want one now because...
I'll get you an aeronautical one.
Oh.
Right, and we'll mount it up here in the sky.
Yeah. We'll mount it really close to the camera so it looks bigger.
Just use a zoom in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, you wonderful, wonderful people, for hanging out with us on the Liam and Joe show today. I hope you've enjoyed the discussion. Long story short, Joe and I think that things like Space Marine and Amazon that bring lots of new people into the hobby is a good thing.
Yeah.
And if you don't want new people in the hobby, as far as I'm concerned, you really need a good fucking reason as to why not. Because a lot of them, it'll ruin it. I don't know. I don't buy that very much. I'm always open to have the adult discussion though. Genuinely, I'm quite comfortable and capable of having a fully adult discussion and not losing my temper and calling you some sort of horrible name simply because you don't agree with me. Yeah. So if you don't agree with us, or if you do agree with us, stick a comment in the comment section down below once the stream is finished. Couple of reasons. One, I read all of them and it's interesting to see your thoughts. I might have missed it on the live stream. Secondly, it really, really, really helps the algorithm. Like really helps the algorithm. As does liking. As to subscribing. So all of those people that have done that, thank you so much. Please make sure you hit that like button to help the algorithm. Secondly, if you subscribe, you will be notified in future of uploads and streams and that kind of stuff. You amazing people. Thank you so much to all the gifters. Big shout out to all the 20 gifters, one of which you did it twice.
Hero.
40k medic, you absolute legend. Thank you so much, you beautiful human being who goes out saving lives for a living, and then the money that he earns from that, spends it on us.
Yeah, I hope all of you tonight have a succulent Chinese meal.
And then, this evening at 7:30, we've got a live game of 40k. I'm thinking about running Ultramarines for a laugh into Joe's tyranny.
Mandy isn't wrong with a comment. If the comment is stupid, he will save it and make fun of you later.
Correct. Yes, I will do that too.
Yeah, we'll actually make a YouTube video about it.
Yeah. Cool. Beautiful. Anything else you want to say, Joe, before we go?
What a lovely time. I want to build some Terminator. I want to build more Space Marines. I'm going to make the table and then I'm going to build more models.
At your desk?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've got so many fucking emails.
Oh, la-di-da, you're so popular.
It's not popular, it's probably Bill's. Joe. Warhammer, thank you for the one gifted, you beautiful human being. I don't know how many.
Is
we
that
ended
because
up.
Morty Hammer wants to have a succulent Chinese meal?
Probably.
That's the only way you get into that category.
20 gifted though, not 1. But you've done a lot more, Hammer. You're amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, you wonderful people, for hanging out with us. Hopefully we'll see you tonight at 7:30. If not, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.